So
are you gonna roll us in? Or are we just?
Oh
yeah, we're just. I mean,
I think we're nuts.
we're just vibing.
yeah,
absolutely.
All right, fair.
we're already talking about crypto. And shit.
Yeah, I mean, fair.
Another podcast about crypto. A bunch of fucking bros talking.
Dudes that don't know what they're talking about.
I don't know
just going
shit.
off
I don't know
about
shit about
Dogecoin.
crypto.
I'm all in, bro. No.
Yeah.
NFTs for life.
That's why I said I was like, I'm just really dumb, and this seems like you have to be really involved. So
Yeah. I don't know
I
enough.
don't have
Stay
enough
away.
fucking time and space in my head.
No. You're busy doing real shit.
Yeah.
I mean, no offense, but like, there's only so much you can do in life.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And I'm not fucking.
yeah, he
hating
thinks you're
anybody
too
who does
stupid
it.
for crypto, bro.
Yeah.
He just said you're a moron.
It's just
Basically,
like,
dude,
yeah.
that brain ain't gonna
not for
ain't gonna
me.
cut it.
No.
Yeah, for
I
real.
just buy shit and then it appreciates in value. I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah.
And honestly, the best investment is yourself anyway. Like that pays the highest return.
Dude, I buy a shit ton of albums and then I'll look up the album to see if I could buy another one or something. And it's like triple the value. I'm like, I did something right. But
Yeah.
Dude, that is a niche game.
Accidental investing.
Dude, there's records out there all the time. People are throwing away, garage sale, whatever. They don't realize like this is Gordon Lightfoot unopened. Like someone, $500, you know?
yeah, the one place right next to the police station, it was an antique shop for a while. In the basement, he had a lady give him her whole collection of albums. So it was like hundreds of albums. So me and my buddy went in there and we flipped through them and I only had $30. I spent all $30 because he was like $2 a piece. I was like, perfect. So I come back next week and I spend $300 and I take home just a fucking shit ton. And it's all like 70s and 80s funk and like disco stuff. So it's like, if I wanted to sample that,
Oh, dude.
and plus it's just great music.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
They're time capsules, man. Even cassettes are coming back where it's like, damn, those were garbage and now they're cool because where are you going to get an MC Hammer cassette tape, you know? Like, they only made they made millions of them, but still, like, how many of them got thrown away? How many got, like...
Right.
It is not easy to touch that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice drop there.
MC Hammer, apparently you can't fuck with Hammer. There's some hard gangsters that are like, don't fuck with Hammer.
Really?
'Cause he will get you.
That's what they were talking about on the fucking Two Bears podcast.
Really?
Rogan or not Rogan, Bert and Tom were talking about that.
Yeah.
It's funny. I would not have guessed that, but I guess so, dude. You make $100 million and you're like the OG, like...
Yeah. I think Redman said something about MC Hammer, and MC Hammer approached Redman with a posse and was like, don't fucking do that. And he was like, okay, I won't. Like, shit.
Backing down Redman.
Yeah. Redman's just like,
Parachute pants, I'm out. No.
yeah.
All right, let's get into the important shit here.
Okay.
So the last time we were in this room was almost exactly a year ago. Let's sort of walk through what we did this year, where we are now compared to the last one.
If I can remember, who wants to go first?
I'll jump in.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's interesting because it's like deja vu a little bit, you know? I think we were all sitting in the same place, if I'm not mistaken.
Wanted to
And
do
this is
a
also
trip.
Preston's first time back since then.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
It's interesting how a year goes by quickly, but also slowly. And it's kind of like
Yep.
your perception of it, how you're spending the time. I would say like my goals are similar, but very different in that this space I had different intentions for back then as like I was going to rent this out, but now this is like homie spot where we do like stuff like this because I've come to find it's kind of not worth it to charge money for that stuff because people are too demanding or they don't really, it just doesn't work. It's not scalable. So there's just been some major gear shifts. I'm a Comeback has become like my main squeeze, just doing all their media stuff and really kind of just in the past year has been a learning process of how to turn the content game into a profitable system, like how to turn these clips into money ultimately, and just realizing like potential that lies within, like getting out of my own way, stopping with any kind of excuses. Like you're the problem and the solution at the same time. And literally I'm done being a spectator watching other people. And all you guys in this room, like we all like kind of live outside some certain boundaries, right? Like pursuit of artistic things, athletic things. Most of society be like, that's a terrible idea. You should go to school, son. It's like, nah, I'm going to punch people in the face and make millions of dollars. And like, that's going to happen. It already is, you know? So I guess
set in motion.
Yeah. The past year's just been the progress of like figuring out the game, figuring out what doesn't work. And now just committing in 23 to just like dominating the creation space and carving out stacks, bro. I want racks, bro. No, I want fucking not really, but just doing it for the right purposes, getting cool stuff out there, building it, and then repeating that process and just duplicate it, scale it.
Yeah. I left here with a goal to release 12 songs in a year. I think I dropped 3. So, we learned some things about how my production works. I wrote probably a total of 15 to 20 songs, but to actually record it, it was different because I liked recording when I first started making music because it was a group of people in the studio and it was just like more like having fun. But it turned into like I had to force myself to record because I was no longer having fun. And it was just like, okay. I liked writing and I liked beats, but it was like, okay. And I got to a point where I was having health issues where I didn't know if my heart was having issues after COVID or what, but I had to stop doing jujitsu because like I would roll and I'd have a panic attack and I'm like thinking that I'm literally dying. And I've never had that before I had COVID. So I kind of had to deal with that. And I've kind of learned that writing and making music helps that in a way that I didn't know that it would. So like now my production, the way that I'm actually making shit now is more effective. And like one of my friends that I started making the music with is now back and kind of making the music with me. It's like just enough where it's like I'm more motivated to do it. So I feel like 2023, I will probably just naturally get more into a flow of making music the way I want to. I'm doing piano lessons. I got 3 free piano lessons for Christmas. So like that'll put me into the groove of like actually making music rather than just like writing over beats that aren't mine. Right. So,
Shit happens.
2022 was a speed bump, but 2023, it's like I can take the lessons from that year and I think it's not a loss,
Yeah. Every setback is like room for a comeback.
Yeah.
Set up for the comeback, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
Hell yeah.
I get fucking shredded and just fuck chicks and make music.
Love fucking chicks.
Amen.
I mean, honestly, it wasn't like a crazy year as far as like I figured some shit out. I just fought 4 times, got a dog, fucked some chicks, and that's about it. Yeah.
Solid.
I fought 4 times, and yeah, I mean that was pretty much the highlight. Was just doing like the same shit over and over and over again. So.
Looking back on it, did you think you were going to fight 4 times? And where you are right now, how does that compare to where you were? Like, did you expect to be farther, not as far, right where you are? What did you expect out of the year and what did you get out of the year?
This last one definitely put me a lot farther than I anticipated. At the beginning of the year, I didn't really know what to expect because like we didn't really hear anything for a while. And I was like, I don't really know when they're going to call me. And I was like fucking heavy as shit compared to what I normally am. So I like wasn't like ready. And then I fought twice back to back pretty quick. And I was like, all right, that was solid. And then I fought twice back to back later in the year, these recent 2. And those are solid. The first one was kind of like, yeah, whatever, I should have won. So like I wasn't like, holy fucking shit. And then this other one was like against somebody who's really good. And, I didn't get the dub, but I mean, it was a close fight. Yeah. It was a good fight against like somebody who's really good from a really good gym.
Definitely pro level already.
I mean, a lot of people were saying that. And I think at this point it just comes down to like experience. Cause like we went fucking 3 rounds and like afterwards we were both just like, yeah, we could go 2 more.
But for sure you guys will fight each other at a higher level.
Yeah. We'll probably fight later on for money or for like an amateur belt or some shit.
Dana will be like, this is a fucking setup right here. This is a beautiful fight. Ages in the making.
Yeah. But it was sick. I mean, like the dude was dope. So we fought and then after he was like, we just bullshitted.
You guys kissed.
Yeah, we were like, yo, crazy fight, sick shit, and like we got a lot of praise from like the promoters and everyone there.
It was a sick fight. I watch it myself like all the time because both you guys looked way better than what your experience level shows.
Yeah, well, the fight before that, I won like hella dominant and
Super
like
dominant.
yeah, but I just went back and looked and I was like, that shit kind of sucked. Like it was just ugly, and I just felt like I could do way better.
What was the record for the year? You
2 and
fought
2.
4 times.
Yeah,
What was it? Win loss, or
It was win loss. Yeah.
okay.
So I just can't. I have to alternate. I guess I can't fucking ever go back to back with the same result, which is so weird because we were talking about earlier.
Michael
Like,
Johnson for life.
yeah, you come off a loss and like you're so nervous, and then like you're like, well, fuck, I'm so nervous, I'm gonna lose because I'm nervous. And you come off a win and you're like, well, I'm not as nervous, and now I'm gonna lose because I'm not as nervous, and like. It's just like it's the fucking mind battles to get there is so difficult.
That's something I tell people. Something I tell people all the time is the hardest part about being a fighter is definitely the mental challenges that you have to face. It's also the most underappreciated skill of an elite level, I would say athlete in general, not just fighting, but especially fighting, because it's a sport where there's the greatest reward, but also the greatest consequences. There's nothing better than finishing someone in front of, the biggest show I've ever fought at was like 2,000 people and everybody in there screaming and you're on the cage with your hands raised. Then there's also nothing worse than that happening to you, So the mental, I've said this a million times. It's the example I give to people is like if somebody told you tomorrow at 2:00, me and you are meeting here and we're going to fight, that like feeling that you would have. Now imagine having that for 3 months.
Yeah.
You know when you're going to fight, who you're going to fight, at what time you're going to fight. He's trained and training to hurt you, and you have to do the same. It's such a wild mind fuck of an experience being a fighter that doesn't get enough credit that it deserves.
Dude, and that goes back to the press conferences where they're like, how do you feel? And they're just like, ready to kill. You can't go up there and be like, I'm fucking scared, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of nerve wracking because this guy wants to kill me and I got to try to kill him.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's like 3 months where just like you're laying in bed, just chilling. And then your heart starts racing because you're like, oh, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
I got to fight. So that's why it's nice during like Christmas to like not have a fight booked because then you can like enjoy yourself versus like I'll fucking be really distant those months leading up because like I'm always in my head like I got to fight.
Eating some holiday food, like, man, I'm a fucking fat ass. How am I gonna beat this dude?
Yeah. So I walk around a lot lighter now because when I did my first fight of the year, I was like mad heavy and I had to cut mad weight and it was awful. So
Wow.
yeah.
Still took that dub though.
Yeah. Still a W. So
First round TKO.
yeah. Yeah. It was like first round TKO, decision lost, third round TKO, decision loss.
The first one was on the prison cams, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody was in my basement, and they were like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, dude, that shit was mad special for me. Like, I don't think everyone realized like having all the boys in the basement watching me on pay-per-view and like getting hyped. It's special. So
Especially through the fucking CCTV footage of O Block.
yeah, literally, like, there's like no audio. There's like no audio except the commentators that are like, he's in a triangle, kinda. Like it was, So
I don't know what the fuck's going on, but he's beating his ass.
yeah, it was a sick show though. So, but yeah, the last one was probably like the most legit show I'd say, because like a lot of the people involved were like been involved in that for a long time, and we did like the first weigh-in show and like did the first face-offs and stuff, which is cool. But like, dude, fucking weigh-ins, like just sitting there waiting for everyone to show up so you can weigh in, because we got there like first, because I'm like, I want to weigh in and just fucking leave. So, but yeah, how was your year?
So 2022 has actually been like a super monumental year for me, because the last time we did this podcast in December, like starting the new year, I didn't even train anymore. Like at that point, I had stopped training altogether. It wasn't even on my list of things I wanted to do. I gave up on the idea of even becoming a fighter, and I didn't start really training again up until March. And so far I had 2 fights in the year, and then I'm having my third fight in 2 weeks from Friday, January 13th, on one of the biggest promotions in the world.
Link in bio.
Link in bio for
Instagram,
tickets. Yeah. And
link for in places. There's a link.
Yeah.
There will for sure be a link. But it kind of blows my mind that like three months into the year is when I started training, and I've made all this progress, and it is cool to look back. but I also made me realize how much work I still have to do to like get where I want to be. But I also learned about different things that I love, like running. I've taken up like endurance sports and long distance running and things like that, and just figuring out my goals. And the one thing I really figured out was that my life purpose, the thing that makes me happiest, at least right now, is pursuing the most difficult things that I can and overcoming those things. Forcing growth upon myself is what I love and what I find makes me happiest. So that's what I found, and that's what I'm trying to take into the new year with me. I want to have, I would say 3 to 4 fights. If I could win 4 fights, that would be perfect year. And I definitely want to run some marathons and potentially ultra marathons this year as well.
Yeah, it's hard because like you hear pros talk about it and they get like 2 to 3 fights in a year. But like as an amateur, you can fight a lot more just because like it's shorter rounds. Sometimes you wear shinnies, depends on where you're at and shit like that. So
And
like,
motherfuckers suck.
Yeah. And so like you can fight a lot of times in a year. Like there's some guys that fight like fucking every month.
Wow.
And it depends on how much weight you cut too.
Yeah.
Like if you have to do weight cuts, like when I go to 25, like I'm not trying to do that shit every month. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah. So 4 fights sounds like a lot, but like at the end of this year, I'm like, it wasn't that much, especially because I did them like back to back, spaced out back to back.
Were they all at 25?
No, it was at 25, 30, 35, 25.
Oh, okay.
Because like if they're like, yeah, they're about the same size as you, they just don't want to cut weight. I'm like, sure, I guess. But like if it's on a big show and it's like important, and like then yeah, I want to cut weight because then that helps like my ranking and shit like that.
Right.
Which fucking don't lose because they destroy your ranking, bro. I was pretty up there and then I lost this one and they were like, yeah, bro, back of the line.
Dude's trash.
That's
Yeah,
how I was.
because the Tapology for like amateurs and stuff isn't based off of like your actual fights. It's like a computer that generates like where you should be based on.
Really?
Yeah. It's like your record and then the record of like who you lost to and shit like that. So it's
Wow.
like it's
So
just
how good or bad your opponent is plays a role in it.
yeah. So if you lose to somebody who's like fucking
A scrub.
yeah, like 0-6 until they beat you, like you're probably gonna be back there. So
Yeah.
That sucks. Any given Sunday, you know, it's like you could train and someone catches you with a fucking random,
Overhand right or
yeah,
right,
anything.
yeah. Which I mean, like the ranking doesn't matter too much. Like you can definitely leverage it for like sponsors and shit. But like, I mean, once you go pro, it goes away. So
It is
As
wild.
an amateur, it's all experience, dude. It's
Yeah.
all gathering experience. That's literally what it's about.
Yeah.
Like
Life.
obviously record's important and stuff, but just get the experience.
Life in general, man. Like I honestly like to kind of like tie that together to the year. Oh, it's all good. It's reality. This year was a great setup, I think. Like because I'm pretty. I remember us like kind of writing out stuff and kind of declaring things, but the reality is like life happens, things happen, and you might not be ready to be that person. Or always have ambitious goals or whatever, but something
Yeah.
I've realized this year is that I'm not the person capable of acquiring those goals yet, and I need to just focus on being that person more. So it's like if it's like I want to record my album this year, it's like I'm not disciplined enough to do that. If I'm being honest, I'm not, and I need to be disciplined enough to where I can do it. Or, you know, if it's acquiring more resources, to be like I'm gonna hire a producer, man, because that's what I need. You know, it's difficult because to your point about recording, engineering, writing, like those are different jobs.
Yeah.
It'd be like training yourself fighting. It's like, I kind of need a trainer.
it's essentially impossible.
Yeah.
Like there's fucking guys on shows and they'll be like, they're from nowhere. They don't come out anywhere. They're like out of their gym or like out of their garage.
Mom's basement.
And
They're like
yeah.
2 and 8.
They just put like guys that don't actually train anywhere that they fight each other. And it's basically just like a spectacle of like, watch these guys that should be on street beefs come here and fight in like an actual cage. So like, yeah, if you don't have like training partners, AKA like a producer, whatnot, like it's essentially impossible. Yeah.
It's help and guidance, really.
Yeah, going solo is kind of like a myth thing. I like working alone sometimes, but you are the company you keep and like your tribe, because your training partners elevate you so much. And like same with producers, music, whatever. It's the same thing. They're very similar. It's like who you're surrounded by, they'll elevate your game. I've been exposed to musicians where just being in the room with them where I'm like, I got to level up.
Hang out with millionaires, you'll become
Pretty much.
the next one.
Another
Like today when because I went to his gym, Wanderley, and fucking Manny had world champion on his Thai pads and then his name. And I was like, that's fucking sick. Like, I wasn't even around him that long, but being around him for just a little bit of time and him like giving me some knowledge, I was like, I don't think I've ever met anyone who believes in themselves as much as this guy. And it was like just honestly inspiring.
Yeah.
Because he's been doing it so long, and like you can tell just by the way he moves and the talks and trains, he just loves it so much. And to believe in himself that much, I was just like, wow, this is sick.
Yeah, through osmosis, it's like you pick up on that. And if you don't, you're in the wrong place. But like that's a huge deal. Is like being exposed and surrounded by people that are at way higher level than you. Yeah, and you're not going to get that in the basement hitting a fucking heavy bag like, I'm ready for the...
He's one of my biggest role models. I just did an interview for my fight, and I got asked, like, who are some of my role models in the sport? And he is for sure number one. And it is for this reason. And this reason is also leads into our sort of topic of discussion about this previous year, because this might be the number one thing that I took away from this year. And something that I really figured out is how important the energy you carry and bring is to the success of whatever you're doing. That is something I never realized up until I started fighting. When I started fighting and I saw like the different energies people carried, then it started to click more with me. But Manny always carries this energy of, it's always that, I don't know, I don't want to say hopeful, because it's not like he's just wishing for something, but he's always like very optimistic and always ready to go, ready to outwork everybody. And he's also somebody who worked for everything he had, which is another reason I look up to him. He was not handed anything. He didn't have any special abilities or whatever, you know, same thing as all of us. And he got to where he wanted to be. But taking that lesson from the year and applying it to myself, of now everything I do with a certain level of intensity and putting more of myself into what I'm doing, and just caring about like the aura I put off. That has helped not only my fighting, but just everything that I do in life, but especially in fighting too. I think the energy you bring into the cage might be the number one like deterring factor of your performance that specific night. If you go in there like kind of timid and kind of scared, like you let the nerves take over your brain, then you're going to be super like flat and very defensive and probably aren't going to have the best performance. But if you carry like the energy of, not to like sound corny, but like you're going to like battle with this guy and you are ready for whatever comes to you. You have gone through the mental processes of accepting what's going to happen, accepting who your opponent is, and you can sit down and know you put in all the work that you put in, then that is what the recipe is for a good performance, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's hard because like when I fought Eduardo, I was like way too chill. Like I was like in the cage like, yeah, it's whatever. We're just here to fight. Because when I fought Trust in the first fight, I was like we were driving up there. Because it was a 7-hour drive the day of the fight, which don't recommend.
Damn.
Yeah, it was awesome. So they were just like, how do you feel? And I was like, I feel like I'm just going to go beat his ass and get some food and then go the fuck home. And like for me that like, and then I finished him in the first round. And I was like, oh, so you just have to be super chill. Yeah. And then the next time I fought, I was just like so flat. It looked like I like,
got to be a balance.
Yeah, and I just like I almost just didn't want to be there. And I was like, fuck, like do I really want to do this? Like if I just like don't even want to be in there when I'm actually in there, because I love to train. So that's never been a question. And I'd always thought I loved to fight, but that one really made me question it. And then the third one, I was just like, I found that happy medium. And then the last one, I found the happy medium where it's like I'm chill, but I'm also just like ready to roll, you know what I'm saying? For me, it's just like, and it makes sense to me, like just like cowboy energy, you know what I'm saying? Like you think of a cowboy and there's like always ready to like saddle up and get it, but like they're never like tense and look like they're trying too hard. It's just like you're just there, you're present. Yeah. And that's the thing, acceptance, like it sounds so corny, but like when you fight, like you literally have to be ready to die. Like these younger guys, and not like I have crazy amounts of experience, like I have 5 fights, so it's not like I'm fucking, you know, the man. But like these younger guys will ask me like, how do you go into a fight, all this stuff. I'm like, for me, like I have to know, like if I want to have the ability to fuck this dude up and potentially like kill him, I have to be ready to die myself. Like how can you kill somebody if you're not ready to die, if that makes sense?
You can't kill me, I'm ready to die.
Yeah, so it just is not, yeah, I don't know.
That goes into, that's an energy that is, when you truly believe that yourself, you don't just say it. When you believe that and you are in there with that mindset, it's a different level of performance you could achieve. And that's the same thing that happened to me with my second fight. I think I really lucked out, and I sort of figured it out in my first fight. I felt like perfect mentally my first fight. I was completely calm in the back. I just had a podcast on in my headphones, just following my breath. I was so confident. I literally felt like a god. And I think it was because it was my first fight and I didn't know what to be scared of, which is what I say all the time. Like, I think I got out of that fight as clean as I possibly could have. And it was very lucky because I was ignorant to what was about to happen. And I ended up winning that fight. And then my second one, same thing. I felt very relaxed and calm and confident, but I think I was too overconfident and I didn't understand the dangers of the sport because my first fight was super clean. I submitted the guy in like 2 minutes, got punched maybe once. It was just overall not I wouldn't even say a fight, you know?
Yeah.
And then my second fight, I got in there and I felt really good, but I wasn't trying to hurt him. Like I didn't have the extra like spark, if that makes sense. The first fight, I was in there and I knew that he would have to kill me to beat me in front of my entire family was there. All my homies were there. If not there, all my homies were watching the pay-per-view. Yep. I was completely okay with the fact that this guy was going to have to seriously hurt me if he wanted to get me out of there. And it ended up just going my way. My second one, I didn't have that same mindset. I thought I was going to go in there and run through this guy. And I didn't have a bad performance, but that I think led to me making one defensive error, and that ended up costing me the fight. So,
yeah, it's different for everybody too. Like some people have to feel like it doesn't matter if I win or lose, and some people have to feel like there's so much pressure. So it changes almost every fight. Like every fight, I feel like there's a new, like not necessarily mindset, but just like frame of mind almost. Like when not this last one, but the one before, I just like kept saying in my head, like, man in the arena. I just felt like I was going to go out there and make this dude look fucking like nothing compared to me. And that's exactly what I did. But yeah, every time, like the one before that was like ready to die. And like, you know, like my only losses are decisions, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm a fucking bitch to fight, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like it's not an easy night whether you win or lose against me, but
and it's that energy that I'm obsessed with. Like you have to a naked ear, it might sound overconfident or it might sound arrogant, but these people that haven't fought don't know the mindset you need to be in to go in and fight, you know?
Well, very few people have like had situations where they're like, I'm about to die. I have to be cool with that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, there's like situations where you're like, oh shit, I almost just died. That was kind of trippy. And then like the world's greener and you're like, everything's beautiful. I'm alive. But like, like walking into your own potential death and being like
4 times a year.
Yeah. You got to like come to terms with it. It's true. And it like, we talked about it a little bit, but like it comes to an ego thing almost where it's like, you're not egotistical because you know where you are like on the totem pole, but like you got to have this mindset where like this motherfucker can't touch me. Like I'm untouchable.
Need an ego to fight.
Yeah.
It
so it's like I'm humble enough to know I can lose, but I'm fucking confident enough to know I can beat anybody. So it's like, I don't know. It's just a weird balance.
It's got to be selective almost. Yeah. I feel like
it's like using it, not letting it use you.
Yeah. Because it is different because when I'm just training and I don't have a fight coming up, I'm like, man, I suck. Like all my training partners are beating my ass constantly, no matter where I am in the year. But then as soon as like that fight comes rolling up and like your weigh-ins and then it's fight day, I truly feel like a god. Like my god complex is at an all-time high those 2 days because it has to be. It's like a form of protection almost, because if you go in there, like I said, if you go in there thinking you're going to get your ass beat, you're probably going to get your ass beat, you know? So
you need that. I think it's important to have an alter ego. And I think like modesty will get you killed or fucked up because we're taught a lot in society to play small, play modest, don't do this. And don't get me wrong, I don't like braggadocious too much people, but in these realms, so like if you want to be on stage rocking in front of people, there's an alter ego that has to be there.
Yeah.
You're playing a character.
Devil on the
you guys are playing a character where it's like, nah, this is my warrior character.
It's so crazy that after the fight, you don't even remember it.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I rewatched all my fights and I'm like, yeah, I don't even remember that part.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So, but no, like I definitely noticed too. Like I'm a fucking performer, and it's hard because like if it's a close fight, you're like, I don't want to like fucking taunt or whatever because I look like a dickhead. But like after every round, I'm always hyping up the crowd. Like in the fight before that, I had him mounted and he like tried to go like underhook and roll me, and I literally just wizard, and I looked at the crowd and stuck my tongue out and just bashed his fucking face in because it was the last round, and I was like, you're not getting back up, so you're not gonna get a lucky punch on me. But like shit like that, like I was like, yeah, fucking I want this crowd to not only be like, that kid's good, but I want to watch him fucking fight again, because that shit matters too. Like if no one wants to watch you fight,
Showmanship.
no one's gonna pay you to fucking fight. So
exactly.
The intersection of three things: the mindset, heart set, and skill set. Like I've been obsessed with those ideas because they're very individual, but the trifecta of those is super important. And
It's like the mind, body, spirit of it.
yeah, literally. And they're like, there's a triforce that all have to be interconnected
Exactly.
in order to do it. And like your skills align with your heart and mind, and like the execution element of that. It's really interesting because any of those lacking, like if you go out there with the wrong intentions, doesn't work. You go out there with the wrong mindset, doesn't work.
Or not physically able.
If your skill set isn't there, forget it. Like, I mean, there's a puncher's chance sometimes people, but like you're saying, like people who aren't training to the highest level possible, not likely that they're going to ascend in any capacity in life. And it's just like high level achievement it's not an accident. Like it's
Something I've really discovered about myself, and what truly attracts me to all the hard things I do, MMA, endurance training, lifting, all of these things, is I have found a new love and passion for exploring the fight aspect of fight or flight. I've said it, I think I said it on the podcast we did with Miguel. My favorite part of the fight in hindsight, like after it's all done, looking back on it, is when you're in the octagon, but the fight hasn't started yet, and they're announcing your names, and it sucks in the moment because you have like that anxiety feeling in your chest, but you know you can't leave. There's no going back.
You can't be like, hey yo, get me the fuck out of here. I mean, technically you could, but then everybody's gonna be like, that dude's a punk, and then fucking no one's respects you.
The fight in the fight or flight is then forced upon you because you can't fight. At that point, you're forced to fight whether you want to or not. And then trying to impose that on myself. So signing up for these like marathons or these ultra marathons, I have to explore that fight and put it on myself. Something I'm really trying to live by right now is if I can't make myself quit, no other man will be able to make me quit. And that's what I'm trying to do. And that's something I think is super important, is exploring that fight response where something in your body is telling you not to, or you're facing that resistance of not wanting to do it and just saying fuck you to yourself and doing it anyways.
That's the difference maker. This guy gave a speech to that point, right, at this event we did, and he's like close with the Patriots. Like he lives on the East Coast and has a lot of friends in that world. And he's like, the difference between the Patriots being the most dominant team when they were at their height, right, was that they were showing up and running drills that high schoolers or peewees would do. Most pros are like, we don't do that anymore, but they did it the boring like 4-hour pre-practice before the practice. And it's like the difference in that is like minimal. It's such small incremental things. It's not necessarily a huge difference. It's they just run air routes and do like fake passes, and like that rehearsal makes all the difference. And
yeah, all my fights I've lost by fucking inches, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where it's like and in fighting especially, like it's really like who makes the first mistake and things along that line. So it is really like, do you do the small things consistently and all that stuff? So, and it's a blessing and a curse to like have close fights where it's like I could have won any of those, but then it's like, well, fuck, I should have won those. Like it all comes back on me. So it's like it haunts me that I could have won, but it also makes me feel better that I could have won. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It just like goes back and forth. Depends on the day.
That's why for me, I want to be sitting in the back, getting my hands wrapped before my fight, confidently knowing that I did everything in my ability to be prepared for this fight. Because it's such a game of inches and anything could happen at any time, at least at the end of the day, win or lose, I knew I put everything I had into this preparation for this fight. And that's another part of the acceptance phase, of accepting that there is a chance you're going to lose. Right. There is a chance you could get seriously hurt, but part of the acceptance is knowing that you are as prepared as you can be.
Yeah, I don't even know, like, it's just hard to, like, because I'm trying to explain it in terms or, like, ways of, like, people that have never fought before, but it literally puts you in a different mindset. Like you said, you just don't remember a lot of it because you're in, like, a different realm almost.
Like the rush of whatever chemicals in the body, it's just like washing that memory.
Yeah, and like you see things you never have seen before, and like you feel a way that you've never felt before.
That's
like
the weirdest thing for me is that you don't feel pain.
Wow.
Like,
oh yeah, no, you go shin to shin, like cracking, and it just feels like someone like just like nudged your shoulder,
meanwhile,
like right in the
if
knee.
we went
like
shin to shin right now, no adrenaline at this speed, we'd be down.
Dude, with shin guards on, like you kick an elbow and you're like, oh my God, that hurts so bad. In a fight, you go raw shin to shin and you're just like,
or like Matt Byrne, where it's like, this is unbearable. But like in a fight, it's like, what?
It's like John Jones' fucking toe this way.
Yeah,
Like, oh shit.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's so weird. Adrenaline's such a weird drug that I don't even understand. It's so crazy that you don't feel anything, you don't remember anything. It's such a weird.
Yeah, that's
Super primal.
I get why. I get why dudes are like, once they retire, they're like, what do I do now? Because like a lot of it too is like you want people to look at you and shit like that, and then be like, that's the man. But there's like not a lot of things that you can do, especially like once you retire and you're like 30s or 40. Like there's not a whole lot of things you can just pick up and do that are going to be the same as that.
Extreme sports, yeah, it's a hard transition back. And same with the military, where it's like, if you're doing like special ops and stuff, and then you come back to civilian life, it's like, cool, I guess I'll just be a bookkeeper. Like, what do you do?
I guess I'll just wake up and like eat breakfast and like watch TV.
Be disciplined.
And shit. Yeah, like it's not the same.
Yeah, and that transition to, like, if you're a base jumper, skydiver, it's like you don't really just go back, you know. But then again, I think like maybe the transition period is like opening your own gym, opening a training facility, podcasting, things where you're still in it, but you're never going to replace that adrenaline rush.
Rogan talked about it on a podcast, and I can't remember what podcast it was about, or it was with. And he was talking about the difficulty that fighters have retiring from the sport. And one of the ways he was explaining it was that you become remembered for these moments, for creating these specific moments in time where everybody remembers exactly where they were when they happened. Like Leon Edwards will forever be remembered for that knockout of Usman. Oh everybody remembers exactly where they were when they watched that knockout happen. And then when you retire, you have to search for something else to create those moments. And realistically, he'll probably never have a moment as big as that ever in his life again. And that's where that depression can come in, and you either sink or swim in it, because you could search for other things. You could search for coaching or different endeavors where you could create your moments. But if you don't, then you're just forever known as the guy that did that one thing 10 years ago.
Yeah, I think I watched that podcast. I don't remember who it was with, but I think he was talking about Tyson. And it was just like, Mike Tyson was just beating ass, and now he's out. And he
eating ass.
Probably, honestly.
Now he's doing the weed gummies with Holyfield and shit. And it's just like, you can tell, like in some of the podcasts when he's like talking about his ego coming back, and it's like he's afraid of it, and everybody should be afraid of it. And he's like so passionate talking about it, he's starting to cry. It's like, that's a scary fucking dude.
Yeah.
And just like that energy that he has towards it, that's just like, it speaks so much to who he was in that time and what he had to do to change to be who he is now.
Yeah, that's a different character entirely. And
the ego of Tyson in his prime was probably scary as hell.
He's such a great
one
dude,
of the greatest.
too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and fascinating guy, historian. Like, I mean, he knows so much. And
So
like
educated.
Achilles.
Extremely intelligent, and it's funny, man, because like you could do anything at that age with that amount of money, and you're the man, but you're studying history. It's like a cool, like, that's rad that he did that. Like,
he was the man of the world at like 18, 19 years old.
He's
I'm 18. I couldn't even imagine having that much influence or power or money.
And still relevant, you know, he didn't fade away. He kind of transitioned, but like you said, like coming back into society, like finding a meaning, and something I like want to like just acknowledge all of us at this table, like having purpose. Like, we all have a purpose that we found and are like doing it. And like that passion and purpose is something that so many people never find. So I just feel grateful to have found it, and that I share like connection with you guys who are like, you're on the path to like becoming pro fighters and musicians. And like, it's a big deal, man. Like it's not, yeah, there's people, you know, firefighters and saving people and doing massive things in society, but there's something to be said about pursuing something that you're truly passionate about.
Your own
like,
way too.
Yeah. You're going against the grain and doing something that society and people would tell you is not a good idea. And yet I would continue to do this if I never made money. Like I would still do it.
Right. It's also nice with those people around you that you understand the sacrifices of what it takes to get to where you want to go. Like a perfect example of me and Preston were driving from practice day, and like my car was being so dumb.
I heard
we had to
about
like
that.
pull over. I had to like, my car is basically breaking down, and it's because I sacrificed making significantly more money than I make now to be able to train way more, knowing that in a few years when I'm in the UFC, I'll be able to afford whatever car I want. And he acknowledged it. And to me, that is a perfect example of like, we all understand what it takes to be great at this non-traditional thing, because I don't think any of us have taken a traditional route at any point of our lives.
Yeah.
I mean, you went straight into like touring and things like that. I
Weird shit.
graduated high school early to fight. Yeah. You, same thing. It's like fighting and music.
I just chilled for a while and I was like, yeah, I should probably fight.
I just have a weird schedule. I work like this much so that I can have a shit ton of free time. And it's mostly just so that I can find a peace in myself.
Man,
I think
fuck everybody that's like, you gotta fucking work a shitload and make all this money. Dog, let me tell you something. I don't give a fuck what I drive. I don't give a fuck about the shit that's on my walls. I don't give a fuck about that kind of shit. It drives me nuts because people are like forcing us to believe that this is what success is. Bro, success is me not wanting to fucking kill myself. Like if I wake up and I'm like, yo, I feel good. I feel happy that I get to go to the gym and fucking train and then do private lessons and coach and give my knowledge away and do things like that. Like that to me is what success is and happiness. So like, all these fucking people are like, I did 80 hours this week so I could get overtime so I could buy this shit that actually is going to make me feel really empty. Like
Crying
that
in your
shit,
Ferrari.
that shit drives me nuts versus being like, yeah, I don't work as much because I value my free time. Like what's the point of becoming a slave?
Right.
Because you're going to die and then all this shit is going to fucking just go to someone. Like it's all so meaningless and stupid. It drives me nuts.
love that.
I'm in a period of my life where I've never ever been more grateful for what I'm doing than I am right now. I have this journal that I write in every morning. I've written in the same journal for like 2 years now, and it's like they have a couple questions that you answer every day on top of like writing whatever you want, and it's always 3 things that you're grateful for. And almost every single day I'm writing that I'm extremely grateful. And I talked about this on the last podcast and on my Instagram and stuff, but I'm so truly grateful to even just have the opportunity to pursue what I want to pursue, because some people are stuck in that mindset or they can't afford to pursue their goals. But we are also lucky that we have figured that out and that we can, because some people think you have to work 80 hours to make that $100,000 a year to buy that $80,000 pickup truck that you think is going to make you happy. But we have it figured out to where we know what makes us happy and we have that already set in motion. And I'm forever grateful for that. Exactly. I wake up every day and there's not a single day that I dread. I enjoy every day and enjoy doing what I do every single day.
Freedom is everything. And that's what everyone's after. And like the richer people you buy and sell time no matter what. And like, I like your point there. And my 20s was spent minimal work to maximum creative flow state time. And I valued that more than, I didn't really start working until I was like 30. Like I had odds and ends jobs, but it was just, how can I have the most creative flow state ever? I don't care. Same, like the material things didn't matter. And I think that pays dividends. You can't even measure the happiness, the experience you get. You can't measure, because whether you know it or not, people envy your life. Even if they have the nice car in the house and blah, 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 they'll go, I wish I could just make music.
And it's frowned upon. It's so backwards. I swear to God, if somebody right now was like, I will give you $80,000 a year to work this construction job for 70 hours a week, or I'll give you $20,000 to be a kickboxing instructor or to like help coach the fight team, I would 100% take the $20,000, because I understand and I value my happiness over those material things.
Money is actually really easy to make. at the end of the day. Like it
If you
becomes
absolutely needed it, like yeah.
the creative time that you invest in yourself will be the fortune at the end.
You could
like,
sell so many drugs and make a ridiculous amount of money in a short period
Flip
of time.
a brick, get 2 bricks.
Yeah.
And then you get
Yeah.
but even what we're doing right now, this practice, like podcast, there's podcasters making 50 grand a month, bro, off of doing the exact same thing we're doing. And they just have more people know about it. They're not saying anything that different. They have the same lighting, the same camera, the same mics, the same ideas. They just have more attention. So it's
They
just
got
like
the Riz, bro. They're just rizzing out.
Yeah, but like I see it as like I'm using the time that I have now to understand myself so that like when it comes to a time where it's like, all right, fight or flight in life, I need to make some money to survive. By that time, hopefully I have it figured out how to do that with music.
you have time.
Yeah. So like
How old are you?
21.
Exactly.
Bro,
yeah.
Like I forgot who I was listening to, but they're like, I popped off at 36. I think it was
Yeah.
Danny Brown. He was like, I was in my 30s when I popped off, and it was like, I thought I was popping off at 21 when
Yeah.
I was 17, but like now it's like I know what I have to do. For the most part, like I have to. It's all me that I have to.
Without
work on.
consistency, all else fails. That's
Yeah.
something I've been really, to me, I don't focus on the long picture at all. I view like, to me, it's what can I do today to get me
Yeah.
closer to my goals? And then focusing on that every day, I feel like will take you so much farther in a span of 5 years than if you're like, in 5 years, I want to achieve this.
Because there's no tomorrow, there's no yesterday, there is now.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, well, I didn't even think about like when you asked about where I thought I'd be at the end of the year, at the beginning of the year. So I've been saying this shit since I've been here. I'm just a dude being a dude. I don't fucking think about shit. I really don't. Like, I just live every day, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm just in this bitch living.
Fight and pussy.
Yeah, like I didn't think I was like I'm gonna get 4 fights. Like it just happened, and I just focus on every day, and then like it's so much easier than being like, oh my god, because the UFC like is far away, but if you just live every day, it's like becomes closer and closer and closer without you
It'll
even
just
trying.
fall in
You know
your
what I'm
lap
saying?
one day, and you'll be
Yeah.
like, oh shit, look at this is awesome.
Yeah, they were like, "Yo, we want to write an article about you and put you in the paper." And I was like, "Fucking sure." I'm just a dude being a dude, and other dudes are like, "That dude is doing cool shit." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like so, like you said, just living every day and just being consistent in your shit is gonna fucking take you so much further than
The
being like.
consistency for me was a big problem because like writing lyrics, I get to a point where it's like I was at a point where I was writing 2 to 3 verses a day, and it was like a nice little 16, and it was just like something that if somebody was like, yo, I need you to rap on this, I could just go through the fucking Rolodex of shit, slap something on there, and it's something that I have that I felt was good at the moment. But I got to a point where it's like, I'm just saying the same shit over and over again, and it's like, so I started like, I need to open my vocabulary up, I need to learn about more shit. So like, just learned about more shit, listened to different music, like in like the Spotify Wrapped shit, it was like my top 3 genres last year or in 2022 or 21 was hip hop, East Coast hip hop, West Coast hip hop, and it was just like, what am I doing? I'm just listening to fucking rap music all the time. So like this year it was like hip hop, rock, funk, soul. Like I go through all types of shit that I'm listening to now, and I've broadened my horizon so much that it's like I know so much shit about just music overall, and it's like my appreciation for music it's hit a fucking different peak compared to 21. So it's just like I look at it differently.
It's just like fighting. I mean, you do your boxing, your kickboxing, your wrestling, your jiu-jitsu, and then you take all those components and you make MMA. So it's like you take
the idea of Jeet Kune Do.
Yeah,
like
you take all the fucking
what works for you.
Except Bruce Lee would probably get his ass kicked.
Right.
But
Bruce Lee would get his ass beat. Max Holloway take him out.
but yeah, it's like the same thing. You like hear all these things from all the music you listen to, and that creates your art. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So many of the samples from awesome hip hop comes from classical and like different jazz tracks and like even rock influence where. Dude, there's so much rock influence. It all commingles, dude. And like, I had the same kind of breakthrough. I was way into metal, way into rock. Hip hop was like, I liked Eminem or whatever. Then I go to school and I'm like, oh, dude, hyphy, like all this like West Coast stuff that I'm like, I didn't understand. And then when I was exposed to it, I became a better guitar player because of my exposure to hip hop, which I never would have thought.
Right.
It's also like you don't know what you're missing until you get exposed to it. Too.
Absolutely.
Which is why I'm so big on like just try shit, just explore options,
and then you can see the similarities between it all. Like, cause I grew up listening. Like my dad is like, Megadeth is the best.
Nice.
And he's like, it's like Megadeth and Led Zeppelin are the two best, greatest things ever. And it's like, there's only a couple things that are close, like the Rolling Stones and fucking Metallica. And it's like, okay, fair enough. But it's like, just growing up listening to like Seven Dust down to Limp Bizkit, you go from an album from Seven Dust, which is just straight up hardcore metal for the most part, and then you go to Limp Bizkit, which is all like the new metal, and then there's that one song in there, End Together Now, produced by fucking
Dude, I love that song.
produced by DJ Premier featuring Method Man, and it's like, this is some shit. And then it's like, who are the Killer Bees? You know, then you get into the Wu-Tang Clan, and it's like, okay.
Limp Bizkit was probably one of my introductions into certain types of hip hop, dude. That meshing,
Dude, Limp Bizkit fucking good.
they're really good. They catch a lot of heat, but
Anybody says.
they got some. I bought every one of their records, dude. Like no shame.
Like even Korn.
And they hold up. They hold up today. Like you listen
Yeah.
back, it's like this song fucking smacks.
Yeah,
the
everybody's
production's
like,
there.
oh, dude, fuck
Fred Durst is a great front man, great lyricist.
Great. The Woodstock Netflix.
99 or whatever, wasn't it?
I haven't
99?
watched it yet. I've heard it's good though.
Dude, they got the videos of fucking Fred Durst crowd surfing, and they're like, yo, get fucking Limp Bizkit off the stage right now, because he's just like, they asked for Limp Bizkit, they got Limp Bizkit.
I will say though, like a
That shit
Korn
hard.
T-shirt in the wild is like the same as a tap out shirt in the wild for the MMA community.
Definitely.
Really?
Like I see a Korn T-shirt and I'm like, look, bro, they're solid. I'll listen to Korn, but I'm not throwing on a Korn
to
tee.
flex that you listen to it, it's
Yeah.
kind of like,
Yeah,
It's like
get it tatted on my knuckles.
It's like the H&M shirts.
the people who listen to it, like most often, it's like people that I wouldn't normally be like, yo,
yeah.
but like in my own time, I'm listening to fucking Korn all the time. I love Korn.
There's so much influence to draw from things, and I think too, like just the investment in yourself. Like we're here for experience, no matter what the path that we're on. It's all gathering experience and then
That's what it
applying
is, yeah.
applying it.
Yeah.
Simplest formula
It's
for
such
life.
a big, exactly. You can't, that's what I said. My biggest thing is I want to force experience upon myself. I want to put myself in these situations where I know it's going to suck when I'm doing it. Like, I don't want to run that marathon that's 26.2 miles. Like, I know it's going to suck while I'm doing it, but I know that after I'm going to gain such a wealth of knowledge about myself, what I can do. And also it gives me the appreciation on people that run 100 miles, 200 miles, and you just see what's possible.
Campaigns,
Goggins.
dude. Crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
I ain't no fucking bitch. Run with music.
Yeah.
It's cheating.
I was telling Preston there's this runner, her name's Courtney DeWalter.
Oh, yeah.
And she ran the Moab 240, which is a 238 mile race. And it was I believe it was the first year they ever did it. It was like maybe 2016, I want to say. And she beat the person in second place by 10 fucking hours.
Didn't she go blind during it?
I don't think it was that one, but in one of her ultras, yeah, for the last, I want to say like 10 miles, she was completely blind except for the fact that she was able to see her shoes. Everything else was complete whiteout. And she just stumbled her way across.
Still finished.
Yeah.
And then
But that's what it
fucking
takes.
taking on fucking stretcher or something afterwards, right?
She's a fucking savage, dude. There's this other runner.
shit.
Her name's Sally McRae, and she just finished this like Choose Strong documentary that she did, where her mother died of cancer when she was 43. So the year she turned 43, which was this year, she ran. It was like 1 mile for every day she got to live after her terminal cancer diagnosis or something along those lines. It ended up being 508 miles, and she ran. What was it? It was like 5 or 6 ultra marathons in 80 days, like 150 mile ultra marathons in 80 days. And there's this really good documentary out on YouTube about it that just came out, and she's a fucking savage of a woman too.
Man, dude, thinking about like running that much, and I'm the guy who got like 32 on the pacer test. That's a bitch, dude.
Yeah.
Like, and I just knowing how I felt in high school running the pacer test and being like, yo, if I gotta run, I'm just not.
I love it so much, dude. It's like, I love the adventure of it. If I could be 2 places, it's either the gym training or it's like on the trails, like the trail around Lake Geneva.
yeah.
I could be there all day, just
That
hiking,
place is zen,
running.
dude.
Yeah,
I
it is.
love that trail.
a nice
My favorite
trail.
thing about trails is I never feel like, I feel more human, more in tune with everything around me. My last time I ran it, I did like 10 miles or something, and it was downpouring, and I was just out there like 10 miles into this trail, downpouring. I'm like trying to find trees for cover and stuff. It was like the most primal thing I've ever done in my life, and that stuff's so cool.
You know what's a cool thought about that is you were the only one doing that.
Yeah.
Nobody else was doing that. I guarantee you. You were the only one running the trail in the rain. Someone might have got caught in the rain, but you went into it.
They just didn't watch the weather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so cool, dude.
I love that thought. We're like, I'm the only one doing this right now.
Mm-hmm.
You're the only one doing it. We're the only ones podcasting in town. I'm almost guarantee you. I've been looking. I've been trying to find people, but we're the only ones doing it.
There could be some dudes in the basement that's like, sitting on
yeah,
an
they
iPhone,
could be.
like,
But
like
realistically, like
at this level particularly.
yeah,
with dudes this cool.
I know. Hogs, like,
This
fat
level
hogs.
of badassery.
Yeah. Like a collective of 40-inch penises.
Fat dogs.
Total in this room.
Monster cocks.
Yeah.
A total of 8 balls.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Doing it well.
Yeah. Which is weird because like podcasting is really easy.
Yeah, it
as
is.
long as you like.
It's sitting and bullshitting.
But what's funny too is like if you were to ask somebody who like grinds out that 80-hour week, like, yo, you trying to hit a podcast? And they'll be like, and talk
I ain't
about
got
what?
It's
All I
because-
know is this factory or this
Exactly.
fucking
Exactly.
bullshit that I work versus like somebody who's like, yeah, I don't actually own shit. I just have experiences and I have lived
Right.
life.
Looking
It's
at
easy
the
to-
numbers too, dude. Like if you look at your day, you sleep for at least 5 hours. I don't care who you are. It should be at least like 4 or 5 hours. You got that plus your 8-hour day. That's
12, 13.
12, 13 hours out of a 24-hour
Math.
day. I'm so shit at math.
We get
But-
into that a lot.
Yeah, I've
But
fucking
then you
CT.
also like shitting, like getting ready to do shit. You've got like
Yeah, man. Value
No
your own
fucking
time.
time.
Like that's what I've noticed, or like I've taken into my own life. And Ryan talked about it earlier. It was like your time, like you're selling your time to these companies and shit. And so like fucking, I'll get hit up
selling your
about
soul.
work, and they're like, "Yo, are you able to like come in or whatever?" And I'm just like, "No, my time's not available
For
right
no
now. Like I'm not
benefit
gonna
of
sell you
yourself.
my time. Like it's just not."
yeah.
That's another thing I love about what I do is I know all the hard work I do is benefiting me. And it's like my form of income is I work for my parents. We own this little sandwich shop.
The best fucking sandwich
Dude,
shop.
yeah,
that's
that
around.
shit is crazy.
Thank you.
Fuck Jimmy John's, fuck Subway,
Hell yeah.
fuck anything other
It's
than that.
the best.
Yeah,
Thank you,
I'm not
boys.
even saying
I
that
love-
you're like my dog. Like genuinely, one of the best
Like
sandwiches I've had.
my mom doesn't know you,
Yeah.
and she goes there a lot. So
Yeah.
Hell yeah, thank you. But exactly, I know the hard work that I put into that place is benefiting me and my family. So my entire day, whether it's me running, lifting, training, working at the shop, reading, all these things that I do, I know that it's benefiting me in some way, not only today, but down the road as well, which is something that is like I value because there are those people that work 80-hour weeks for another business where, yeah, they get their compensation, but the work that they are doing is not for themselves. It's for somebody else.
it's a more beneficial generational wealth because you take the knowledge that you have from what you're doing
Right.
and passing that on rather than like, here's a couple $1 million, go fucking go on a bender. Like
When I'm laying on my deathbed, I would much rather die with a wealth of experiences than $100 million in the bank.
Absolutely. And to that point, I used to work at this place when I was in my early 20s. I was probably 20 and I was really committed to it. I was going to make it to the top and I was going to sell all this stuff in a sales job, right? 10 years go by and I run into one of the guys who was then on my same level. We were like entry level guys and he's now the top salesman, right? And this is 10 years removed. And I run into him at a wedding and I'm like, Chris, what's up, man? And he's like, who are you? I'm like, Ryan. We sat next to each other for like 2 years. He's like, I don't remember. I'm like, 2 years. We'd like literally sat across from each other. Okay, fine. That's fine. You don't remember me. That's weird. 2 years. You don't remember. Anyway.
yeah, whatever.
I'm like, so what's new? What you been up to? He's like, yeah, just salesman of the year. I'm like, what? Yeah, but what else? Yeah, just, same. I'm like, oh my God, this guy lived the same day every day for the past 10 years while I've been out fucking like conquering.
His life is selling shit that isn't his.
He had no stories to tell. And to the point about the podcast, dude, he couldn't sit down and talk interestingly about anything. It was just like, yeah, I did the same thing every day for 10 years. And I went to Costa Rica once. Damn. I wouldn't trade all the
Dude,
money.
Yeah, and that's what's crazy too is like the thought of like, fuck yeah, I worked hella hard. I get a week of vacation.
1 week.
Genuinely,
Do you know how many
scares
weeks there
me.
are? There's so many hours that you're like sitting at this place to have a week of like, now I get to kick back and relax. And then the last 2 days of that are taken away because you're like so focused on the fact that you have to go back to work.
Yeah.
Like, dude,
they're not your
that.
own. And
No.
Vacations are nice, but it's also, I love everything that I do in my life to the point where I don't feel like I need a break from anything.
Yeah.
Like, structure your day so you don't have to take a vacation. Obviously, still take the vacation. I'm not saying taking a vacation is subprimal by any means, but it's also like,
My vacation's taking a shower.
yeah, dudes are like people that work those, like, they need that vacation. They need a break from work, to where when I don't do the stuff that I do in a day, I feel sad. Like, I want to do the stuff that I do.
How
every
many
day.
people in this room, I would guess maybe you, have seen Office Space?
oh yeah,
Nope.
So
What is that, a movie?
It's a movie.
good movie.
It's
I'm
a
on the
movie
same
from
page as
the, from the late 90s. The guy goes into work every day and he essentially goes, fuck this. And it's just like, he goes into fucking work like wearing flip-flops and he's like, you're out of dress code. And he's like, and then they end up fucking robbing the company and shit. But it's like,
such a good movie.
it's a great, highly recommend movie.
So funny. Like, I don't recommend movies often because everyone's like, oh, but that's like a classic, like the comedy in it, and it speaks to what we're talking about. It's
Yeah,
just like
you just-
following your truth and your passion and just being yourself. And like,
he like moved his desk because it was like a standard cubicle desk area, and he just moved his shit so he was in the sun and he was like playing Pac-Man or some shit.
does whatever he wants.
He's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm playing games."
Hell yeah.
They're like, can you come in tomorrow? He's like, no.
Yeah, dude, actually, like, that's actually how real jobs work most of the time. They don't actually give a fuck. Especially, like, nowadays, a lot of the entry-level shit. They're like, hey, this. And you're like, okay. And then, like, they just don't do anything because they're like, well, fuck. We need him more than he needs us because everywhere's hiring.
Yeah.
No.
And it's like, fucking, I guess we'll stick it out. Like, everywhere has a constant, like, cast of people rotating. So, and
That
I'm
power dynamic.
I'm in a sales job right now. I fucking hate it. It's so whack. I like talking to people and like getting like
Experience.
Yeah, some people will come in and like talk to me for like an hour, and I'm like, wow, that dude's lived a whole life.
That's why I liked working at Medusa, because like I would meet these dudes, especially a place like Medusa. It's like,
down the street.
Yeah.
That place is awesome. I miss that place.
yeah, it was great. But like dudes would come in and you would never guess, but like you would guess that they have some money because like they're going there, they're spending at least $100
Right.
to sit there. But like I'm talking to a guy and I got really tight with this one guy. I don't really remember his name. It was like some like Bill or something like that.
A
but
rich
like,
man name.
yeah. But like he would talk to me and he'd be like, any new records? And I'll tell him what I got and he would just like genuinely have a conversation with me. And then I would hear that his buddy came in. He's like, yeah, I got 2 storage crates of fucking records in New York. And it's just like, holy shit. And he's like, yeah, I've just been sitting on them. And I found out, like, I looked this dude up and he's worth like over $100 million.
Wow.
But he's just like keeping it totally real with me.
Yeah.
And it was like people like that. It's just like he does what he wants. You can tell, even though he's working for somebody, he's gone all over the world doing whatever the fuck he needs to do. And he's going to Medusa 2-3 times a week. And it's just like talking to those types of people. It's like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And speaking of Medusa, it sounds like he might be opening up another place.
I hope so.
Around here.
Because I miss that spot for sure.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so grateful to have been surrounded by elite fighters from such a young time training. Like when I was at this one gym, there was a bunch of UFC fighters there, and now I'm surrounded by Bellator guys, good pros, because from a young age, I was able to see that it is possible. It sounds so dumb, but these successful people, this is a lesson I try to teach my younger brother a lot. We put successful people on such a high pedestal when in reality, they're regular dudes just like
the
us.
same.
And I was able to see that. I was in the same room training with a former UFC champion, somebody who has achieved the goal that I'm looking to achieve. He's done it. He has lived my dream. And we're in the same room right now, breathing the same air, doing the same thing from the same guy. Like, everything is possible.
The fucking Wheaties box guy.
Yeah.
Agreed. I mean, yes, there are some people with exceptional ability or skill or, genetics or whatever, but really everyone's on the same playing field. And the higher up you go, and especially just like in the money game, they all have the same problems and then just more problems. They're just better at hiding them or shielding them, where it's like, dude, I bought a new C-Ray. Did you see my new C-Ray? It's like, your wife doesn't love you. Yeah,
Mo
but the boat.
Mo
Yeah.
problems.
Yeah,
It's
literally.
been said.
It's true.
A thought I've had in my head since we brought up working for other people is, to me, when I think about it, when you're working for other people or working like a corporate job or something like that, you're almost guaranteed to have a ceiling at some point.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
there is only a certain, even if you become CEO, that's it. What's after CEO, you know?
Yep.
Doing what I do or doing what we do, music, podcasting, fighting, all these things, there is literally levels that haven't even been reached yet by anybody. There is no possible ceiling. That's why I love MMA, is because you could be training every day, 7 days a week, 10 hours a day for 50 years, and you're still going to have shit you don't know anything about.
Because then there's you can get to a certain level where you know like most of the knowledge.
Yeah.
But like that's in everything. There's a ceiling everywhere of the locally like known shit about it, but then there's the flavors to it. So then you're just studying the different artists who do the same shit as you. And that goes along with everything, because there's the people like, you look at a Jimi Hendrix, he played the guitar fucking upside down.
Innovator.
Yeah.
Real innovator.
Yeah, and then you look at fucking MMA, you've got dudes that are doing shit that it's like, what?
Yeah.
And
And then
it's
it's
just
like,
like-
let's say you knew every technique in the book. Well, now you learn, how do I teach these moves? How do I perform these moves in a real life situation? Like there's so many different angles to everything, to where, there's unlimited growth for what we do. And that's what excites me the most, is that I know there's no ceiling to what we're doing.
Blue ocean for sure.
Yeah, it's just like it's literally endless, because you can do it in a way that this guy did, but you're doing this and this different, so it's not him, you know what I'm saying? Or like you learn from these people doing it the weird way, but then you take it in a form of you taking an extension of the art that you take the cool things from that you enjoy, and then you're taking the cool things that you learned from the people who do the shit that do it all differently, and you're using what they do but what you like out of it, and then it's just like groups and groups and groups and groups and groups of like shit that you think is cool that you take for yourself, pretty much.
Well, he said, but me saying it, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Exactly like that.
Yeah.
Basically, your own flavor, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like when I'm coaching, like I'm like, hey, this is how I'm gonna teach it, 'cause this is how I do it, or this is the right way to do it. But I'm like, everyone's gonna fight different. Everyone's gonna throw a punch slightly different, right? So like, have your own flavor, and because like nothing. It comes down to like when we talked about conditioning and stuff. Like nothing you do or think or like say is
yours.
Yeah, it's just a collaboration of everything you've ever seen.
Yeah.
So it's like
It's a matter of getting as much information as you can to assess.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And catering it to your own needs.
Everything
Something
is
that-
derivative.
Yeah.
Something my coach said that sticks with me is that he always says, I'm giving you guys the ingredients, you make the recipe. And it's like,
Yeah.
take that attitude towards life. Have selective hearing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to take everything somebody says to heart and try to apply it to yourself, but take what you need from things. And slowly you're building these layers and constructing your own shit to do.
Dude, following that heart compass, and I want to say this just because I have a few years on you guys, the biggest mistakes I ever made was building other people's stuff, like their equity, their company, following their dream, their prescribed thing for you. This is a great opportunity for you. This is a great opportunity for you. And just following that inner compass, dude, it's never been wrong. Honestly, like knowing in your heart, like I'm pursuing fighting, I'm pursuing music, and I'm going to do whatever it takes. I don't need the flashy stuff. My heart and my intention and my purity, like that level of integrity, most people are so envious of that. And like the pursuit of that is like, you can't measure the success of just following your true passion. People write books about it. They talk about it. And they don't do it. We're doing it. And that's fucking rad.
Yeah, like whether you're religious or you just believe in like the universe having power or energy or whatever, like if you follow your true desires and like your heart, like you said, like, and you actually put everything into it,
You'll get
the universe or the God or whatever you believe is pretty giving. You know what I mean? Like it's
I just
very
believe
rarely.
in what you put in, you get back out. Like
Yeah.
I believe in that
Agreed.
system
that
wholeheartedly.
form of the yin yang.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like it goes around, comes around.
You can't fail, really, because like failure is taking the other path in my estimation or my experience. Really, it was been like, that wasn't a life for me. It never would have worked out. Like, I'll take the 10 years of stories and fuck ups over the guy that did the same thing every day, dude. There's no
Fail forward.
100%. And
it's money or love, man.
1 year from now, because we've each, interestingly, like we all went around, there wasn't anything like earth shattering, but it was all the setup, and like we're becoming the people we need to be to become the next level you, which is such a big deal.
And it's slow incremental wins too. Like no matter what, we could have this same podcast every year, and most years we're not going to be like exactly like this life shattering event happened, but
that one year could strike it, you know.
I mean, honestly, pretty earth shattering. Me and Dom both got our blue belts.
Yes.
I didn't think we'd ever get there. It only took like fucking 4 years.
4 years later. Yeah.
Last year at this time, we were all 3-stripe white belts.
Yeah.
That's funny.
No, we were 4-stripe.
4-stripe white belts.
Yeah. They gave me.
I was a 4-stripe too. I was a 4-stripe too. I just said it wrong.
You could have had it because Nick could give you it, but I was just like, I couldn't get mine.
You needed a pacer.
I couldn't get mine, and then I didn't train under anybody who could give it to me for a while. So then they finally they're like, here's your 5th stripe, and I was like, word, and they were just kidding. Here's your blue belt.
That's awesome.
I was like, what?
But it's like on a serious note, looking at those years, like. You will make it farther by just having those small incremental wins where we sit down at the end of every year and we're like, we didn't achieve anything outstanding, but we made those mental wins. We made that mental progression. You will achieve more in 2 years if you were to spend 2 years trying to achieve that one big thing, you know?
Yeah.
That's what I believe, at least.
Because then we'll hit that 1 year where it's like, I made it to the UFC and I knocked a guy out in the UFC, made $50,000 bonus, that type of shit.
Rogan's in your DMs like, yo, man, come by.
Yeah, and that's not far away either.
No, it isn't.
We talk about it all the time. You have 4 MMA fights. I have 2 MMA fights. If everything were to go perfect, and I don't need everything to go perfect, I'm very I'm okay. I'm willing to take the lessons and the experiences that come at me, and I don't need to go undefeated the rest of my career. Like, I understand the value in losing. I never want to lose, but I'm saying I'm not heartbroken if a thing doesn't go my way. But what I was trying to get at was, we are realistically 15 fights away from the UFC. That's not a lot of, maybe less.
Yeah.
That's not a lot of fights. Christian, he was, I want to say maybe 7 amateur fights and then 6 pro fights before he got his contender series shot. That's 13, 14 fights. Same thing.
Math.
Something like that, you know?
Yeah.
But,
guesstimation.
That's not a lot of fights.
You're so much closer than you think.
4 fights a year. Yeah. That's 3.5 years. We could be on the contender series.
Yeah.
It's
when
not
I look
a lot
at
of
it,
time.
I look at it too, the way that you guys are progressing in MMA in terms of music, it feels like a similar space, but it's way different and you can't really scale it. But I released 3-ish, I think. I don't remember how many songs I released this year, but I released one that
bangers
that did really good, and it was How We Do, and it was just it didn't do holy shit fantastic, but I enjoy it. Anybody who talks about it is just that's pretty good.
Doing shit you're proud of.
Yeah, and it's just like my one friend Tyler, that fucking dude listened to it over 100 times this year, and it was just number one fan shit, and you can't listen to it 100 times and tell me it's not good, you know?
Right.
Even if it is just I'm making music that my friends think is good, it's enough. But it's it's got, when I look at the numbers of it, which is good and bad to look at your numbers, but it was it got a shit ton of numbers right away, and I did 0 promotions. Yeah. So it was just once I figure it out, I know I have the skill set to make a song that would do really, really, really well. It's just promoting.
I think you'd blow up on TikTok, honestly, dude.
I think so too.
TikTok
he posted
really
one
good.
TikTok and it got hella views, and he was like, that was sick. Yeah. And then he posted one more and then never again.
10
and I was like, bro, just put up some easy bars.
It's just, I got to figure out how to use social media in a way that doesn't feel like fucking literal cancer to me.
Yeah.
But also in a way that it's just it's beneficial and quick.
I don't know, the first one you posted, I thought that was perfectly fine.
I thought it was too, but then I was it's a picture of the ceiling, you know?
You know what I've noticed and I had to get over is just letting go of the expectation of how it's going to be received by me, and then just being this is up to the market to determine. The things I love the most get rejected, and then stuff I throw out with no tags, no nothing, 1 million views. I'm I never would have guessed that. If
It's
you would have
just
asked me, how will this do? I'll be like, that won't work.
It feels like a quantity over quality thing.
It is.
Well, especially on
One of
TikTok.
them will just fucking boom
Yeah.
out of nowhere. And it's
TikTok
like, oh,
is
shit.
literally like they just grab random shit. They're like, fuck, because dude, TikTok, like people are swiping so much. It's literally like fucking this all day.
'Cause, like,
to
I've
where like
seen-
at some point they're gonna need fucking, hey, this is a cool video. We'll just throw it on there.
Yeah.
I've definitely
Something
learned some shit. I can tell you, like, show you.
Oh yeah.
Something important that like not along the social media lines, but just like you making music is that it's like to make it the most simple version is like you're just doing the shit. Like 10 views on a song is 10 more views than someone who wants to make music but doesn't make music.
Just a dude being a dude. You know what I'm saying? Just doing dude shit.
Yeah.
You should coin that, make it a
Yeah,
shirt.
that's my chest
Like,
piece.
I'll be going through TikTok and it's like, all right. And then I see this one dude, like random dude. He's like, yo, I find music that I think is great that doesn't get enough love. And he shows pictures of the Spotify account with like 138 monthly listeners. And then he does a follow up after showing off one of their songs and they're at like 20K listeners in 3 days.
That's a rad thing to do.
Yeah. But it's like, there's people out there like that on places like TikTok and
everywhere.
Instagram. And it's just like, I gotta
Dude,
fucking do it.
Like we talked earlier about like just like not being like egotistical, but being like, yeah, I'm the shit kind of. You got to have more of
I
that.
struggle
Yeah.
with that so much.
Dude, it's easy, bro. I hear a lot of dudes where I'm like, this dude's really bad. And then I hear your shit, I'm like, this dude's really good. He just doesn't put anything out.
It's hard to get over that hump because
That also is what's going to make us successful. Sorry, not to cut you
No,
off,
sorry.
but it's like you got to have that. That's just like
you.
That's just like fucking.
you want to fight, bro? You want to fight?
Yeah.
I've been training over there.
That just like struck something in me though. Of like, I fucking don't even remember what I was talking about.
That's all right. The ego thing. It was like,
Oh yeah,
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Like to be successful, you got to understand. You have to have a bit of an ego. You
Yeah,
can't like.
it's definitely you have to use. It's. I just read like the other day. You have to use your ego, not let it use and control you.
Yeah.
keep it on a leash.
Yeah. But it's
Poke
like
it- poke it sometimes.
I grew up like so humble. Like I was raised to be very humble. I was an only
Same.
child, and my mom was like, "You're not gonna be an only child," you know, like those fucking dicks. But yeah, I ended up picking who
And then
my
I
brother
moved in,
was.
and he was
But
like, you're not an only
fucking-
child.
It's just like then when I went fucking and I had the mental health breakdown, it felt like I threw my ego out the door and like I was afraid of my ego. Almost like I was afraid of who I could be. And now it's like I'm understanding I know who I can be. It's just I have to fight the right demons.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
what brought
Yeah.
me back into fighting. When I quit fighting, like the reason I came back was because I knew what I could do in the sport, and I would be genuinely upset if I didn't do it. Like it was almost like a FOMO of like I knew what I could achieve, and I just wasn't, and that like was heartbreaking to me that I
Yeah.
even quit in the first place because I could have made so much more progress. And looking back on it, like I needed it because ultimately every decision I made led me to where I am right now. But still, it's that same thing of you do have to sort of have a bit of like I am the shit and I know what I could do to you because that's, it's just a part of it.
It does matter, and it pays dividends because I played the humble game for a long time, and now that I've turned up a little ego dial, I'm like,
Like fuck
just-
everybody.
It's all time and place. It's
Yeah.
got to be time and place.
Right.
And you have to be able to back it up too. But like, it's not like
Yeah.
any of us in this room don't have skills that are like measurable or showable. So it's like, it's one thing if you suck really bad, you're like, I'm the greatest. I know people like that too, who are like, I remember this kid I went to school with, terrible rapper, like objectively bad too. And he would just walk around and be so cocky about it. And it's just like, if you were good, it'd be a different thing, but you're not. And it obviously just went,
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you're doing all the things except being good.
yeah.
Honestly, I can like see a difference in like your social media presence and like the projects you put out, like of turning up the ego dial a little bit. They just feel like, I don't know, the energy just feels like you're more like, this is what I like, and it's just received how it's received. Like you just
Yeah.
feel like you're doing your own
Fucking social
thing, and
media
then
is
like
so
leaving it up for people to eat up however they want, but it's like quality shit, so people are gonna like it. So
Yeah.
I can definitely tell the difference. You know what I'm saying?
I see improvement in everyone. It's like
Yeah.
100%,
my goal is
same.
to watch my fights back every fight and be like, damn, that sucked. Because I know then that means I'm improving. You know, I look back, dude, I thought I was the shit after my first fight. I look back, I would murder the guy that fought the first dude.
How cool is that?
I look at my second fight. I was like, I'm the shit, even though I lost. Like, I still looked good. I'm like, I fucking suck. And now it's like keeping that process going of, dude, I'll watch sparring videos from like 2 weeks prior and be like, what the fuck was I doing right there? It's just the growth. Yeah, it's so exponential. And I don't know. I feel like I credit that to just exactly focusing on the now, like focusing on
listening to my own music can be incredibly painful.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, it's incredibly painful, but then there's some of them where it's like, I can listen to this. Like, I like this.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's always 50-50 with like how I'm feeling about it. And like my one friend is just like, how is it that you guys all release music and nobody likes the shit? And it's just like, I can't even explain that. It's like raising something and battling it and yourself the entire time you do it. And then you finally just like break away from it. Either because you think it's done or you're just like fucking done.
You abandon it. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just like,
you almost don't care how it does. You're like, I'm done. Like,
I'm fucking done playing.
That thing broke my heart. I can't even.
It makes my head hurt.
Like a girlfriend that cheated on you. You're like, well, I'm done with that. It's old news.
Yeah.
That's actually a trippy thought. Like, I can't even, I've never made like a song, you know what I'm saying? So like the idea of like.
Yes, he has.
No, I haven't.
He has.
So
he made me take him off of SoundCloud.
Anyway, so
prove it.
So, but the idea of like making a song from beginning to end and like producing it and stuff all on your own, and then like I don't know, it's almost its own entity. I feel like it'd be like I can imagine what that would kind of be like, but you guys putting it like that. Like
it makes it seem like
it's really trippy.
You're bound to go crazy.
It's like putting your journal out. Like, everyone read your journal and then comment on it.
You
like,
also have to think like a lot of times with me when I'm writing a verse, I'll take a Jay Dilla beat that was stretched by some asshole on YouTube and it's 15 minutes long, and I'll listen to that 15-minute video like 4 or 5 times working on one thing. Right. So now I have that beat, a particular over and over beat, for an hour stuck in my head.
I'll have a fucking clip from like training or sparring or anything, and I'll be like, man, this clip is sick, I can't wait to post it. And then I watch it like 3 times in a row and I'm like, what the fuck was I thinking? How long would you say like making a song to posting it, like from beginning to end, takes you? Or at least like a minimum?
At least a week. Like it's a minimum week. Bless you.
Thank you.
But like I have one song that I have that's called Son of Sam, and I wrote it over a year ago, and I love it, but it's hard to get what I want out of it. I've like recently worked with one of my other friends just trying to see if maybe we can chop it up and go back and forth, but I'm thinking it's probably just gonna have to be me and I chop it up.
Who?
Colin. But like I like working with Colin because it's always like, let's throw some shit at the wall and see if it sticks. And that's just how it is, because he's more of a freestyle guy where he can just like off the dome say some shit and it's just like, it sounds smooth. He's talking about nothing, but it's like, it just sounds good. That dude's
big dicks, fat chicks, blah, blah, blah.
Absurdly talented
right
guy, but in a different realm of like
the creative space of it.
Yeah. It's like, I'm more like the Shakespearean write it all down type of guy, whereas he's more like the Jay-Z, where it's just like, this is what I have, or like the Lil Wayne. And it's like, he can write too, and I can freestyle too, but like usually they're not as great. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he's talked to me about, how do you write like this? Like it's so good. And I'm like, how do you fucking freestyle like that?
Yeah.
And it's just like an admiration for each other's grind. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Very, very similar, very different. I'm the same way. Like I want to rehearse music.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at riffing out. Like I want to rehearse it to a point before I perform it, because I'm like, I know how good it can be, and I don't want to just expose this when it's not ready.
Not in full form.
I'll take it out of the oven yet and then put that bitch back in. Like, no, I feel that for sure.
Going back to why I asked you though, is like, I couldn't imagine having to sit for a week with the same video clip of me. Like I would hate myself by the end of it.
Yeah.
My number one watched YouTube video of 2022, because they did their own version of the rapped shit, was the beat for that Son of Sam song. And it said that I listened to it over 50 times. Yeah. So over the course of that year, I ran through that song at least 50 times, and it's 3.5 minutes. So that much time on that one song, just over and over again. And that's a lot for an artist that I really, really enjoy. Like the number one song that I listened to on Spotify this year, I listened to like 27 times.
Who's that?
J. Cole.
Oh, nice.
It was
good investment
the
of time.
Friends. I forgot what the song, or it's with the Kill Edward. Because I listened to KOD over and over and over and over and over again.
Really?
Yeah, dude, KOD. Very
My
slept
least
on.
favorite album of his. It's good, but
Honestly, like the beat choices and the way that the drums hit are just different for me. And then
I was just a young boy.
you're just missing out, man, on some good old fashioned Travis Scott.
Oh, fuck Travis Scott.
Dude, listen,
Travis
bro.
Scott's okay.
I slept on him so hard, and I was like, fuck Tractor Snot. You know what I'm saying? He's trash.
That's awesome.
And then I heard one of his songs, and I was like, yo, this kind of goes hard. And then I listened to Rodeo, and I was like, wow.
Oh, you got to put me on that.
I was like,
I've
my
never
life,
gotten into Travis.
my life has been changed forever. And he, in the course of like the last quarter of the year on my Wrapped, became the number one most listened to artist, number one album, number one song. Like, became obsessed.
like there's over the course of me broadening my spectrum, I can respect shit like that, but I know it's not perfectly my swag.
Dude, you just got to give it a chance.
I'll like Travis Scott's probably got some bangers I for sure haven't heard, because I've had a
yeah.
lot of people hit me up like, dude, you should listen to Travis Scott, and it's like, okay, but then there's like Young Thug, for example. I don't know a lot of his shit, but I know if somebody's like, yo, this is a good Young Thug song, it's probably good.
Dude,
you know?
honestly, like there's like 10 Young Thug songs that I like actually enjoy from him. Mm-hmm. But they're like all bangers, but like his features are always exactly, to where I'm like, I'm not like a Young Thug fan of like his own shit.
The one
but
album
just
that
like
he has with the fucking, it's like the art piece on the cover with the big ass hat and it's all white. I don't know.
I feel like he has a shitload of albums.
I'm not a music guy. I don't listen to any music.
How?
Nice.
I'm all podcast.
Interesting.
Like,
I'm that way too, actually.
Driving, running, lifting, pre-fight.
I've converted a little bit to mostly podcasts.
Yeah, Mr. I fucking hate
I didn't
podcasts,
have
and then he
any
like loves them now.
opportunities that would make sense for me to listen to a podcast. Because like if I was to listen to a podcast, it'd be like 20 minutes here, 30 minutes here, 40 minutes here.
what I do.
Fragmented.
Yeah, I
but
fragment them.
where I work now, I listen to a whole podcast and then music.
Yeah.
Real quick, what's your podcast go to? Like, what would you listen to right now?
I go to the JRE. and just
JRE.
look at
Okay,
shit.
fair enough.
But
How about you?
The Sugar Timbo pod that we've been watching forever. I watch Morning Combat. Luke Thomas in MMA is like one of the most underrated. I don't want to say journalists, because like even he said like MMA journalism doesn't exist because no one holds anyone accountable. Like journalism is like, here's the bad parts of the sport, let's really dive into this, but then they get fucking phased out of the sport. So like it's not really journalism. It's just like, are you ready for your fight? Type of shit.
Yeah.
But he has really good stuff, but shit like that. It's all pretty much MMA related.
I have listened to a couple of the Rick Rubin podcasts.
Ooh.
The Broken Record, I think
Good
they're called.
stuff. That guy's so fascinating.
He's fucking weird, but like
Very weird.
so awesome at the same time.
What blows my mind is that he had never recorded music before, and then he just suddenly goes like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna produce," and he did produce one of the greatest hip hop records of all time.
A bunch of them,
Like
a shit ton
with
of them.
no prior experience. He's like, I could do that.
Yeah, and
talk
then-
about ego, like just not even ego, but just like confidence.
Out of
Like,
a fucking
Exactly.
I'll figure it out.
dorm room.
Confidence. Yeah.
He did the fucking Beastie Boys shit and the Run DMC shit like basically out of a dorm room.
with
He
no prior experience or musical, like
started Def Jam out of a dorm room. And
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? And then he did shit with the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And he's
Slayer, bro. Like,
Yeah,
how do you
that-
record Slayer and
from this fucking spectrum. And then he pulled off making Run DMC and Aerosmith come together.
dude is fascinating,
Just
and
like,
it flopped, and then
what?
it took off.
It's just
Like,
like, what the
Me and
hell?
Dom were like,
Yeah.
fuck yeah, dude, that shit.
It's just crazy.
Did he win any UFC belts? Or what?
Yeah.
He loves the WWE. That's
Gay.
crazy about him.
I loved the WWE as a kid, but you
I
know,
was a huge fan.
good performance.
shout out my
man.
boy Jeff Hardy.
Oh
Yes.
hell yeah, dude! Hardy Boys were fucking.
I went and saw the WWE event
Incredible.
in Madison
I
a
saw
couple
a
months
bunch,
ago.
dude.
Yeah, he hits me up and just like out of nowhere, he's like at one, and I was like, "What the fuck are you
Dude,
doing?"
it was fucking sick, but like
I would go.
it was like $20 tickets.
Really?
Yeah,
I
and
always
it
thought
was-
they were like $1,000 or something.
It was
they're
a
not
Sunday
doing
stunner,
good.
so it wasn't televised. But it was
Sure.
still like Bobby Lashley came out.
I didn't even know they
Seth
did.
Rollins came out.
I
Like
didn't know they did untelevised shows.
I didn't either, but I bought the ticket. And I
we
was
should
like,
do
this
that
is
redneck
cheap.
circuit, like Monster Jam, WWE, rodeo,
I saw
monster jam.
trucks this year too, bro.
Dude, you're my hero. That's fucking awesome.
I saw monster trucks at the fucking Walworth County Fair.
I would love that.
I would love to go see
Dude is
Monster
literally
Jam now.
living the
Dude,
life.
you could take
I don't work ever, and I do fucking all this cool
awesome
shit.
shit.
you could take all the like concert tickets, the monster trucks, the WWE shit, and you still couldn't get a good seat at a UFC event. That shit is so fucking expensive. And
Literally,
like,
isn't
it's
it 20
expensive.
just to
grand, 30
watch
grand?
it.
Yeah.
I looked just for fun for the Oliveira Poirier card. The last row in the stadium, the legit back against the
The
wall
cheapest
last
ticket.
row was $175.
Yeah,
Plus the fucking $6,000 fees that Ticketmaster and those shit.
Yeah,
make you
and then
pay.
you got to get a hotel. You got to fly there. You got to do all this shit.
Yeah.
Like we were like, we should go to one, and then I was like,
We're
yeah,
I
I'm
don't
fucking.
have two bands to drop on
Yeah.
a fucking fight
Yeah,
night.
that would be like a situation like my dad really wants to go to Vegas, right? He doesn't want to go anywhere. Fuck
Yeah, what the
vacations.
fuck?
That dude's like, fuck vacations. I'd like to see Vegas. And it's like, okay.
hella
And
random.
it's like, that's like the place for the UFC. So when they go there type of shit, if I'm
Yeah.
sitting on a fucking rock, I'd like to go there with my dad and watch a UFC event.
Be
But it would
super
cost a lot of money.
It's so expensive.
Bands on bands. Let's get some TikTok virality out of you, and then we can fucking.
Dude, yeah, straight up. And then Dana White would be like, this guy fucking fucks. So we're going to
Bruce
fly
Buffer,
him
get
out.
out.
Yeah.
You'll
Yeah.
freestyle intro
Dude,
people.
get the Bruce Buffer intro on the album.
Hell yeah.
That'd be sick.
That'd
That
be
would
hard,
be fucking,
son.
That's what Schultz did for his special.
Oh, that's right.
That special, awesome. I love that special.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
He's a
Okay.
tough
I paid
dude.
to watch it early.
He's
Did you?
yeah. He
I
was
didn't
like
do
he was
that.
like, dude, it's not gonna come out anywhere else. Watch it on my account. And I went to, and then I didn't hit it in time, and then it came out on YouTube, and I was like, damn, you got scammed. But
Flagrant's a pretty good pod too.
It felt like watching a movie at the theater when I paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like I got to watch it before most people, and it was awesome. I loved that shit.
it was okay. I just don't. His stand up's not for me.
The
I
one
think his
thing about
podcast. I like him better as a podcaster.
yeah,
I
the
just
one
don't
thing
like
about
him
his stand up
in general.
that
He's
I
just
don't
not my
like,
kind of guy.
like his stand
You
up is
showed me him years ago.
I think too something happens when people get successful, like their funniness to what's
It's like they're no longer hustling to
Yeah,
get
they-
successful. They are successful, so they have to change.
the
I
funny
think
to
it is-
fame ratio gets
like
fucked up.
like Jay-Z's music.
I think this is why that ratio gets fucked up, because the more famous you get, the more your opinion matters.
Yeah.
And I think what happened to his comedy is it became very point oriented. Like every joke, it seems like a lot of the jokes he makes, like he has to make a point
Yeah.
almost, which I think he says otherwise, but like that's just kind of what I pick up. But yeah.
'Cause they were writing-
I like Flagrant though. It's a good.
They were writing monologues for YouTube, and I think the writing took over where it's like, yeah, these are one-liners designed for a studio, and like club comedy is way different. And there's definitely a difference, and I hope we all have enough success where it changes us someday.
Yeah.
Favorite comedians, go.
George Carlin's my number
We'll do
one.
like 3. What do you think? Like
Big J Okerson, Shane Gillis, because I just recently got obsessed with him.
Big
and
J
Jay-
is so underrated.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, both those guys.
Big J Okerson
Dave
is so
Chappelle.
funny, dude.
Dave Attell. I got to throw Dave Attell.
Dave
out there.
Attell's good
And
too.
then,
I'm a big Dave Chappelle guy.
I mean, I might throw Dave Chappelle in there just because he's like the GOAT.
He's like the king.
Yeah. I don't
Can't
know.
top him.
It's hard.
I'm throwing Louis C.K. out there too. Like,
Dude,
that
Louis
dude's fucking
C.K.
so
Dude,
good.
I saw his clip. He's like, so how's everybody else's 2021?
Yeah,
huh?"
exactly.
It was just
Fucked up.
anybody else get into colossal heaps of shit.
He is hysterical.
He was fucking
I'm
funny.
a massive Chris DiStefano fan.
Oh, nice.
His
He's
special,
He's good.
His special size 38 waist. It's on like a random website. I don't. It might have been a Comedy Central one, but it's on. I don't know. I'm able to watch it somehow on my TV.
Yeah.
That's my favorite special
Channel
by
2.
far. That
I'm
I'm
I
like,
tell you
oh,
who's
he's
not in my
size
top
38.
3. Joe Rogan. I'm sorry. He's just
Oh,
Joe
he's
Rogan's not
just
very
not.
funny.
I saw him live, and I don't like his comedy. I fucking love Joe Rogan. Here's why. I think his comedy is like funny for 55-year-old dudes.
Yeah, they're like, it is
yeah.
crazy when I take an edible. That's so true.
I don't
like,
know.
it's
My
just,
dad's
yeah.
almost 50, and he's like, Joe Rogan's not very funny.
Yeah. But it's like his comedy is shit that like he would laugh about at the podcast table with. Like it's very
Yeah.
like I don't
It's
know.
more entertaining to listen to a podcast.
Yeah.
Like it's funnier, just
Yeah.
because it's like
Yeah, like him in conversation, I feel like he's a funny guy. But
Yeah.
like him on stage, like doing
like when
stand up.
he's genuinely trying.
Yeah.
It's like
I mean,
saw
I respect it because like
it got
I
him to
feel-
where he is.
Yeah, I feel like he is good at stand up. I just don't think it's for me.
I saw him, Tony Hinchcliffe, and Hans Kim all live. Dude.
That's a good lineup.
Hinchcliffe is a
Hinchcliffe and Hans Kim murdered so fucking hard. I would pay to go see them headline somewhere else for sure.
Dude, that's like music. Fucking went and saw Wu-Tang and Nas, and they were the headliners.
Yeah.
But they brought Busta Rhymes with last second. Busta Rhymes stole the fucking show.
It's always like
I bet, dude.
Oh my god, Busta comes out fucking like looking at everybody like
Also, that dude's been relevant for like 35 years
forever.
and still crushing it. Like
He played Scenario. He pulled Scenario out. The very first song that he did with Tribe Called Quest that really brought him out. The beat hit and I was like, no fucking way he's playing this shit right now.
dude, I listened to Break Your Neck the other night, like randomly, just came through on the YouTube suggested, and I'm like, that's a banger, and I'm like, it's so good, like it's so good.
Busta's silly good.
And like, he's the only one like him. You know what I'm
Fuck, I
saying?
don't know
Yeah,
music.
he's
Dude, that one song with Chris Brown where with the fucking really fast verse
Yeah,
on
yeah,
it.
no, I got those. Yeah,
Yeah,
the one he's on, the Kanye one.
He did that shit
Fucking-
live.
The one with Jamie Foxx. What's that shit called? Why am I tripping?
The song with Kanye and Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, Busta Rhymes is on that too. No,
Is that Gold Digger?
I was
you're
thinking.
of?
I was
'Cause
gonna
that's
say.
not-
I was like, he's definitely not on Gold Digger.
no.
Oh.
You know, it's the second song on College Dropout.
To be honest, bro, I listen to like almost zero Kanye, especially nowadays.
Graduation. Dude, Kanye was my third to listen to because I
Kanye is
listened
my
to
number
Graduation
one
over and
like
over.
5 years.
yeah, that's a great record, but I never really got. I've only ever heard that. Really,
Like Kanye.
I listened to his whole discography when I started working where I am, and it was just like I listened to
mind.
all of it,
It's
and
not
then
the
I
second
went
song.
right to Graduation, and I just listened to it over and over and over again. But
the
he
skits
did.
on there are funny. Like,
Slow jams,
slow jam.
and it's Twista, not Busta
Okay.
Rhymes. I was close.
Fair enough.
They're
both
very,
rap
they're
fast.
very similar. But Busta Rhymes did the verse that he did in the Chris Brown song, the "Look at Me Now."
Yeah, yeah.
And he
Oh.
fucking spit the whole thing, put the mic in the ground, took a towel, and just fucking fanned that shit. And it was like, oh my god, that's savage as hell.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
It was fucking.
It's that confidence,
nuts.
like that fucking
get on that.
confidence gets.
He
places.
comes out and he's just like he knows.
Yeah.
He knows that you
It's
didn't
the-
come to see him particularly, but you're gonna fucking love.
presence,
You're gonna love
yeah.
it.
You're
The
gonna talk
crowd was
about it on
so
a
loud.
podcast.
And if he
one day.
came out,
Yeah.
like to tie the fucking topics together, it's like if he came out and was timid and was like nervous and shy of the
Forget
crowd,
it.
Yeah.
that performance doesn't exist. You have to
Yeah.
have that thing to you, you know?
Yeah, you
I
have
think
to have
that's what that thing is. When I talk about it in the UFC, like Sean O'Malley has that thing, like the sellable thing.
It factor.
It's just, I think it's the energy
McGregor,
you
too.
bring. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
you bring that confidence and people can see it. Some people bring it and it's just not seen as much. Like Corey Sandhagen's a perfect example of that. Like Corey Sandhagen doesn't come off as like an arrogant guy by any means, but when you listen to him speak, he's very big on that. But he has it. But other dudes, like it just radiates off of them, and I think that's
Yeah.
what that thing is.
Dude, Cheeto's got mad cowboy energy. He's just
Yeah.
like, I don't give a fuck.
Dude,
I'll
I'd
beat their
fuck
ass. Yeah.
I feel like
He's
there's
just so
also-
cool.
There's also the guys who like they don't do any of the promoting and shit, but their skill is just fucking here. So it's like they get a following, but it's not tremendous.
That's like the Kamaru
until
Usmans
it
of the
is.
world.
Like
Yeah.
I feel like Khabib, honestly,
Yeah.
he was just like so good, but he didn't get like a big commercial following. Like
Yeah.
everybody
Yeah,
was
he's
like,
getting
"Yo,
booed and
Connor's
shit,
Connor's
like-
gonna beat his ass."
Like all of his
smash your
fans
boy.
were like where he was from.
Right.
That's why like when you go to his Instagram, he's got like so many followers, but it's like
50
not
million or something.
Yeah,
It's
but it's
not
like
American.
not. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very rare person to where you get that level of fame specifically from just doing the shit. Like
Yeah.
exactly like Usman. Like
Yeah.
nobody cared about Usman, but he became so undeniable that eventually you had to care about watching Usman fight. Like,
and then
yeah.
Yeah.
And then Leon Edwards fucking left shit and had something to say about it.
yeah, but then there's like in rap, there's the guys like I can't even particularly say, but like I know there's a group like Jedi Mind Tricks.
Oh, love Jedi Mind Tricks.
It's like they're really, really, really good, but they're not as popular.
Sure.
You know? And it's
their
like,
beat. I mean, some of their stuff is like arguably some of the best ever made. It's so fucking good, but it's like
yeah,
Jedi Mind Tricks is kind of still underground, even though
they're underground as fuck.
they're not like mainstream at all.
Yeah, and it's like some of it is just like
last week.
some of the shit. It sounds like they're trying too hard.
Yeah.
It's like you can tell that they're like so good that they're swallowing the whole track with how good they are.
Yeah, sometimes on the feature ones where it's like, all right, self-titled's in here now. I love self-titled, no disrespect, but like there'll be somewhere it's like it's so stacked, it's almost overwhelming. Where you're like, damn, relax.
Yeah, it's like the beat's good too. You know.
Yeah,
like the beat
exactly.
breathes. Yeah.
No, the beats are actually so sick that it's like I'd actually like to just hear that loop for
Yeah,
like
or like MF
16.
Doom too.
MF Doom, fuck yeah.
MF Doom was like so lyrically on top of things, but like he also got really, really weird, and it was like it's hard for easy listening to listen to because it's like he's talking on the microphone like this, but he's saying some crazy fucking shit over some gnarly ass beats, and it's just like
The cheese bar, dude.
Doritos, Cheetos, or Fritos.
Yeah, I love doing.
It blows my mind like how knowledgeable I could be on some things, and then other things I'm like a complete beginner at. Like it's so sick.
Dude, that's the thing is like once you fucking just get involved in fighting a bunch, people talk to you about normal shit, and you're just like, I don't even know, bro. I've been in a cave. I don't go outside.
Caves
I don't fuck
cage,
with
you know what I'm
nobody.
saying? That's what I got.
Yeah.
Here's another thing I've been thinking about is like the recipe for success is pretty similar for almost anything.
Everything.
Very true.
Like we've talked about it on this podcast probably 69 times, but it's like once
That's
you
a
get
particular number.
once you get good at one thing, like once you get really good at something, you know you can get really good at anything because you know what goes into it. And that's something like even though fighting and music are two completely different things, you still have to show up every day, work every day, like put your hours in the same way. It's the same recipe for success.
Yeah, and I'm sure music's like never off your mind. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm walking through the grocery store, shadowboxing and shit, not even thinking about it.
It's
like,
so
and then
weird.
you're like just walking around whistling, and you don't even realize it. Like, my dad's always like, "Can you fucking quit shadowboxing?" I'm like, "Sorry, I'm not even thinking about it." Like my body just does it.
I constantly. It's like I've compared my own head to a fucking radio station. And it's just like every once in a while I'll switch stations because it's like there's a song in my head all the time, but it's changing.
What is it right now?
That fucking one Kanye song with fucking Jamie Foxx. A little Anita.
That's slow jams. That's what I was talking about.
Now it's been as I'm talking.
So you're a Kanye supporter? Is that what I mean?
Dude, I rock Kanye all the way.
Dude, Kanye's got some good shit. He's got some real garbage. That's for sure. You know what I'm saying?
It's another one where his the fame dial is so big that it's like not every idea you have is worth talking
I think
and
Kanye's
saying.
the GOAT, but
It's like
a lot of his ideas should definitely stay not in the public eye.
His first
He's
couple
crazy.
of albums when he was like that kid out of Chicago grinding his ass off were so fucking good. And then he got to a point where like he was rocking with Jay-Z and they were talking big dollar amounts and it was like, yeah, this shit kind of fucking sucks. Like,
Rogan talked about it recently where he was like, the same thing that makes Kanye crazy in conversation is the same thing that makes him so good making music.
Yep.
that's true.
It's the same fire. It's just burning the wrong things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and too, like before the internet, you lived in a time where you could have ideas about it. Like, oh, I really like that guy. And then you see them on a podcast, like, fuck that guy. Like, so many people where it's like, they weren't designed. They were just kept behind the shadows. And even with fighters, it's probably like, love his performance. Fuck that guy's brain. Like, he's just crazy.
Yeah, no, like, and it goes the same way too, where like I see a guy fight and I'm like, I don't think I'd like that guy. And then I hear him in an interview. I'm like, that dude's fucking dope. Like Matt Schnell, the first time I watched Matt Schnell fight, he was just like, I don't know what about him. Like I almost like got like arrogance off of him. And then I heard his interview and he was just like, some dude from Texas, mad humble, super dope dude. He's like, yeah, I just hope people like my fights. And then I was like, this dude's fucking dope. And then I watched all of his shit and he just got like mad crisp boxing.
Dude, when I first started watching fighting, when you first got me into it pretty much, Mark Hunt was fucking awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I loved Mark Hunt.
Giant killer.
Because like he would just fucking put him down, walk away from it like, and then it's fucking, thank you, Jesus. And it's just like, awesome.
His
I love this
highlight reel
guy.
is awesome.
I'm going to reference someone that I really rarely reference, especially on this podcast. So Rogan said that.
So Joe, I don't know if you heard of him. Joe Rogan said
he's just so smart, bro. He talked about how
I'm
like,
a dumbass.
Yeah, he talks about how like people that consistently listen to his podcast and listen to a lot of interviews know him more than almost anybody except his wife.
Wow.
And it's like we live in a time where we could truly understand somebody just from podcasts. You
Just
never
from
had
watching,
that. And that's I think gives a huge insight. It's like he talks about you'd learn so much more if he just did a podcast with the president, like candidates, instead of just fucking
1 minute sound bites and
the
campaign
shit talking at
commercials.
YouTube ads that I have to watch for 30 seconds.
There's the guys like on YouTube, Danny Duncan. Like, there was the one dude, I watched the one video, it was last or second to last video that he put out. Some dude came up to him, he's like, you made it a way that you can be a friend through a screen, basically, just off of how he's acting in the YouTube videos, which is, it makes sense because when you watch it, it feels like your boys already. And it's just like, fucking Danny Duncan is hilarious. And he just does whatever the fuck he wants. Like, he just fucking buys a couple smart cars, takes them up in the sky, drops them, see if they live, and turns them on. It's like, that's awesome. But like, he's also got the videos when he first started of him just fucking around in a grocery store.
I remember watching him on Chris Chan's channel before Danny Duncan had like a channel, and they were just fucking around. And I was like, dude, this guy, I don't even know his name. He should have his own channel. And then he started up, and now he's massive. But it's also a trip too, because it's like Joe Rogan's got all these like fans and all these people that know him so intimately, and then he just has no concept of who these motherfuckers are.
Yeah,
I said it on the
it'd be
last
impossible.
podcast.
Yeah,
like, you're my best friend. He's like, I don't know you.
Yeah, people, dude, I can't even imagine. That's the thing too, is like, I love performing and I want to like fucking be amazing at fighting and get on a high stage, but I don't want the shit where people like shove a phone in your face, like, let's get a fucking pic. Like,
It's gotta be weird.
I don't really fuck with people, honestly.
Me neither.
Like, I
I
don't
want
like
that shit,
people.
bro.
Like,
I kind of do want that shit.
Yeah.
In a weird way, it feels like that would be a lot of fun because you could just fuck with people.
I don't know, but like when,
There's pros and cons to everything.
yeah, like when
Yeah,
Bobby
'cause,
Knuckles is like, I'm just a guy and I just want to go home and like do normal
Yeah,
shit.
I'm at Chipotle, man. Just leave me alone.
Yeah, like Rory was like Ariel was interviewing Rory when he retired, and he's like, yeah, like, you know, what's your plan? He's like, I just kind of want to disappear. Like, I'm just a guy.
Dude, end goal for me musically would be to be like a guy where it's like undeniably great achievements, but like if there's 50 people lined up, 10 of them know me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like a good example would be a guy like Common, if you know Common. Like, Common's huge in terms of music. He does all kinds of shit for the Black Lives Matter movement, and it's like he does all the commercials and shit. He's a big guy and he makes really good music, but like, I feel like if he was to walk down the street in Lake Geneva on a busy day,
Yeah, no one know who it
many
is.
people would know who
Yeah.
he
It's
is.
like you got to know kind of thing.
And then there'd be
Need
some
to
that
be in
like,
that need.
Yeah.
he kind of looks like that guy Common. Like,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
wouldn't be
yeah.
like,
And then all of a
You two
sudden,
would know,
oh,
and me and Dom would just be like,
you're famous? Let me get a picture. I heard you're famous. And then
yeah,
that's
there's
when
videos where they just like act like some dude's famous, and everyone's
That's
like,
so
oh, we
funny.
love your
record
thing. Let's
Yeah.
get snap. Like,
yeah, like that
holy
would be perfect for me, because then I could set up shit and go certain places where there is the people that are all there to see me, and I can do whatever the fuck I want, like autograph signings and do some rare shit with people just because.
Yeah, I don't know. I just try to stay like grounded. I'm like, yeah, everyone's just a dude. Like when fucking
Yeah.
I fought my last fight, and then Ricky Simone was literally like sitting next to the dude cornering me and like watching the fight cage side. And I was like, holy fuck, that dude's like ranked top 10 in the UFC. I've seen like all of his fights.
Yeah.
He's a bad motherfucker. Like, and then I'm like, oh yeah, he's just a guy. You know what I'm saying? Like a really dangerous bad motherfucker, but like,
Dude,
he's just a guy. I can't
that'll
fucking overthink it.
It's like, that's why I kind of wanted to do the meet and greet for JID, because I want to test myself how I handle a situation like that. Like, JID is one of my favorite rappers. I think he's one of the most talented people in music right now. And I have the ticket to go do the meet and greet, and it'll be the first time I genuinely meet somebody who's like that level of fame or that level of talent in my field particularly. So it's like me meeting the fucking mecca of people.
Yeah, I feel like I could nerd out a little bit if it was like JID, because it's like not my field, you know what I'm saying? Where I'm like, this guy kind of is a superstar, versus like fighters, I got to be like, oh yeah, they're doing shit that I can also do. Like even with Manny today, like I was standing there and I was like, holy fuck, this guy's seen like some of the highest highs in the sport. He's just like a normal dude, a really like good
normal dude that acts like he hasn't been to those highs.
Yeah, he was
and
just
highs.
like he had just fucking met me, and he was like, he just like told me some shit and just like shared some knowledge with me, and it was just like a normal conversation to where I'm like, this dude could just be like, fuck that kid, I don't give a shit, and like I couldn't do anything about it, you know what I'm saying? Like instead he was just like, yeah, let me tell you about the shit that I love and I'm passionate about, and just like bless me with some knowledge. And he's like, he's fucking fought like the best of the best pretty much.
Yeah. And he shows up and trains and acts like he hasn't achieved anything yet. Like he's still young and hungry. And
Exactly.
yeah, it's that energy. It's fucking
Yeah. When you see JID, be like, yo, the gunslinger says hi. Also, this year was like the first year I got dubbed as the gunslinger when I fought. And I didn't know I was going to get it. And then I said it. And dude, I just got chills. And
that
I
was
was
for
like,
the third one, right?
yeah. And I was like, I'm going to fuck this dude up.
Oh, yeah.
Like chills down my spine. I was just fucking ready to rock. And yeah, every time they say it, it just gets me hyped.
What's really weird for me is like when I listen to a certain song and in my head I see somebody walking out to it, I'll get goosebumps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I do that all the time.
It's just like I take music and I paint pictures in my head and I find the best movie that it can fit to or the best scene in a movie it would fit to. And it's just like in my head, I'm painting that picture and I get goosebumps.
Yeah. Fucking, I totally just lost my thought. Fucking, what were we talking? It was me and you were talking about it.
Yeah, I'm not
You're
even
a
that,
gunslinger?
I'm not even that cool.
No, I can't
You're a
remember. It's
gunslinger.
totally gone.
You know what I'm thinking about right now? Pretty sure he's using the bathroom and I have to piss so fucking bad.
Fucking weenie butts, bro. I'm
So
chilling.
hot, bro. Yeah, I'm chilling too. And I've drinking a whole fucking tea.
Yeah.
I
Pussies,
don't
bro.
really know where the bathroom is, but I'm
Because
gonna go out there and
it's
find
so
it.
big that the yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude. Piss is stored in the balls, and I got fat nuts. So
That was top 10 pisses of all time. Like,
yeah, dude.
it wouldn't stop. I'm like,
Bro's
what the
eyes
fuck?
were
You're like, I feel empty, but it's still coming.
Well,
Your guts move after.
I drank 3 of these, and that's a lot of water.
That is a lot of water.
Go to, but I'll wait.
I'm fucking chilling, dog.
I should install.
I've been dehydrated like
I
the
should
whole trip.
install fucking urinals right here. We can't cut into the action. Just gotta piss right here.
Yeah.
They sell them on Facebook Marketplace. I see them every time I go. It's like an ad for like the car. You just attach it to your balls, or
Yeah.
your dick, and fucking.
The sheeness. It's like a. There's like a fucking. I've seen it for like fisher women. It's like a fucking funnel for their
Crazy, bro.
snooch, and you
That's
can
it.
just.
There's. I've been telling Howard to make a fucking song for me to walk out to.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I was like, dude, just make the Gunslinger freestyle, and I'll walk out to that. And he just hasn't.
hell yeah.
He's
Yeah,
like, you got to give me a
Western
beat, and I was like, you got to make this song, this
Dude.
is you.
Whoa, maybe he and I'll collaborate on that. That'd be an awesome one to sample like old spaghetti western songs and then turn
Exactly.
it into like a fucking.
I'll take
that'd be
it.
so
Yeah,
dope.
exactly. Yeah, and then we could do the Dirty Boy freestyle.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, because I was telling them that fucking this year's the first time I got like the Gunslinger nickname used. My coach finally gave it to me.
Nice.
And yeah, it was crazy. So I was like, yo, you got to fucking make the song so I can walk out to it. Because I've been like using different songs and like they all feel good, but none of them have been like my song. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
you need that. You need
That's
that
what
thing.
I'm into. It's like I still haven't decided what it's gonna be for this one yet.
Yeah.
I think some of that stuff finds you too. Like it happens. But in the keeping with this conversation and like kind of where we're at, like it's an interesting, it feels like both it's been a year, but also not a year. And then the progress that we've made is like measurable, but also like, we're also like, nah, we're not even, this is just a mile marker. It's ready to fucking roll.
Mindset's what's gonna take us.
And better, just in better positions. It's pretty cool. Cause I was thinking about this. It's really sad. Like how many people are actually regressing. And it's like, I went to, gatherings recently and you think like, damn, these people are going backwards. Unfortunately, like
Yeah.
people I care about.
I get like hyped to go to like high school reunions like 10 years down the line and being like, yo, what's up? And everyone's like,
Bugatti.
yeah, they're like, you're what? And I'm like, yeah, I'm the guy on fucking UFC pay-per-views and shit. Not because like I want to like flex on anybody. Maybe it is. Like maybe it's a little bit of my ego being like, fucking, you thought I was what I used to be.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Like, and that's kind of the energy I've had lately is I'm like, fucking y'all have not, like we talked about it. I was like, you guys have not seen shit yet.
Yeah.
Like I'm only fucking starting, like, you don't even, like, nobody knows me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm about to do some fucking crazy shit. That's why 2023 just feels special, you know what I'm saying?
I agree. And I've said that before and not truly meant it, where I'm like, this is my year. And that was almost like a projection of my insecurity about it not being my year. I'm like, this is it. And it's like, but I feel that different this year where it's like, shit's aligned, man. I got
Honestly,
everything
like,
I need.
I just stopped looking at time as like this fucking circle, like every year that it repeats. It's just a fucking line.
Linear, yeah. It's
Yeah.
like a fucking,
So it's like, this isn't my year. This is just me. This is how I live.
yeah.
I was like, I'm going to just fucking rock it. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Because
why-
like, if
yeah.
you fucking live in that, like, well, there's tomorrow. Like, yeah, like in that Rocky scene where he's like, there is no tomorrow. It's like, yeah, no, there is no tomorrow. Like,
Yeah.
time doesn't exist. It's just fucking, it's just life.
I think about that all the time, and Howard sort of said it earlier. Is like, it is always right now. Like, you can't attach anything to tomorrow because tomorrow it's not going to be tomorrow. It's going to be right now. So all you could do is focus on what you could do right now. And it's such a repetitive thought process, and it's like a loop. But if you just focus on how you can make yourself happy, how you can improve right this second, and you always think that way, that's where the growth comes instead of, thinking about that.
Yeah, so
Forward progress.
you gotta make me the gunslinger freestyle. We were just talking about it.
Dude, I was working on a 15-minute freestyle not even that long ago. I was like 5 minutes deep on it. And it was just like, damn.
33%, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah, and then I found out
0.3.
that the beat was in like 5/4 time or some shit. So
Wow.
it didn't convert over to other beats. So I was like, all right. And then I lost the beat, and then I found the beat again, and I was like, this shit is trash. But I want to do that at one point and just release a 15-minute fucking chunk and just be like, yeah, I can do this.
I love when rappers put out just like a fat chunk of them just
Yeah.
talking shit, being like, "Here's my musical, like, here's my artistical piece." And then just a track where they're like, also, fuck everybody. I'm just me. Like, this is just my shit. You know
The
what I'm saying?
skits are so funny
Yeah.
sometimes where it's
Yeah.
like, we're gonna say the dumbest, most outlandish shit on this skit, followed up by my best song ever. But like,
Yeah.
next song is a skit where I'm fucking the neighbor lady and whatever.
Even down to the shit where it's like fucking Brothers in Paris. They have the part in it with Will Ferrell talking.
I don't think I know what song you're talking about. Can you give me the title?
Yeah, no, but like there's a piece in there taken from a fucking really weird what is it? The skating movie, the ice skating movie with Will Ferrell.
Oh, Blades
fucking-
of Glory.
Blades
Yeah,
of Glory.
yeah.
They took a chunk out of that and put it in the middle of it.
No way.
It's like in Metro Boomin's new album. He starts
Yeah.
it off with
That
Homelander.
shit's so hard.
I
Boys.
love that stuff. Sampling just random parts of your childhood or whatever, like a Super
Random
Nintendo game.
shit,
Where you're
yeah.
like, dude, that's the drop from Mortal Kombat. What the fuck? Like, just cool shit in there.
Like my one friend showed me a song. It's a house song, but like I was listening to it, I was like, that in the background. And I pointed it out, and I'm like, that is the intro song for Pokemon Emerald. Swear to God. And he was just like, what? And we looked it up, and it was fucking spot on.
Nice.
And it was just like, that dude sampled Pokemon Emerald and put that shit into his fucking song.
And he, when he did, he's like, some weirdo's gonna know.
Have you heard the song Emperor of the Universe by Babytron?
No.
Babytron is like my favorite rapper right now. I'm like obsessed.
He's next up, bro.
I went to see him live. I saw him live, dude. Fucking amazing. Huge Babytron fan.
Was it
But
Lyrical Lemonade?
It was. But his song Emperor of the Universe is fucking 31 sampled beats back to back, and he raps on all of them.
Wow.
It's pretty sick. I do recommend listening to
The
that.
it's like the Five Fingers of Death freestyles
Yeah.
with Sway in the Morning.
Yeah.
Those are fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah.
They really are.
Lil Dicky.
Lil Dicky destroys, dude.
Murdered.
Yeah, killed it.
So
Dude,
good.
he's having season 3 of his show, and I'm like, can I get an album, please?
Yeah.
I get it, like he's got to make it perfect,
Good
but I'm
pussy at the
like,
crib like a house cat.
yeah, I'm just like, dude, because when he be rapping, I'm like, yo,
Gnarly.
it's
The
unfuckwittable.
antagonist.
He's
You know
so
when he
good.
started making commercials for the NBA?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and what he would do, I think this is the story. If I remember it correctly, I could be completely making this up, but I swear this is the story that I
Joe
heard.
Rogan said this, so
Is, I think it was from him.
Take it to the bank.
He worked making ads for the NBA, like commercials for them. And what he would do was he would rap his like weekly or monthly reports to the team for like fun. And that's how he got started rapping.
Dave Berg, man, is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
funny because he just started as parody and became the best rapper
If I
by
completely
parody.
made that up, I apologize.
I know.
but
I
don't
know. He
think I
said
made
that he
up.
quit a job making over 6 figures to rap.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Worked
at
for the
him now,
Knicks or
dude.
something, or like
Worked.
Yeah. Now
Miami
he's
Heat.
fucking, now he's working MTV. I think.
yeah, I'm glad he kind
fucking
of switched to
whatever.
like a little bit more serious shit, because like that parody rap shit can only go so far, and he like has like real talent
For sure.
So when he's like, I'm gonna do actual
It
shit,
was like to a
Low would
point that his
assume that I
YouTube
got
freestyles were more popular than his songs.
Yeah.
Tall frat looking all loopy and all that, even Babe Ruth.
He ties so much in there. It's almost like if you were to like measure the amount of stuff he ties together, like the layering of it, it's like I don't know if anyone's ever layered stuff that intricately, that's that funny and also like
That fucking like
poetic.
Bro, he was Jack Harlow before Jack Harlow.
For real.
So
Look
good.
at him. Bro.
Jack Harlow. Jack Harlow's got some bars and then he's got some filler. And
Saw
it's
Jack
like,
Harlow too. He performed one song.
dude, yeah, he's
Oh, that's right. I was supposed to go to that.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, whole performance is I'm gonna perform one song and then make eye contact with all the chicks in the front
Yeah.
row,
Dude,
and then I'm
was
gonna bounce
wet.
out.
I was wet, bro.
Dude, yeah.
dude. What is it? Steve
Riz.
Lacy.
Yeah.
When he fucking performs. What was it? Can you say happy birthday? Fuck you, bitch.
yeah, dude, so fun. Dude, his shit fucks too.
It does.
I mean, I was late to the bandwagon a little bit, but
I was even
Yeah.
later, so
I hopped on when TikTok hopped on. So
pretty much.
yeah.
yeah, I heard what's his most popular song?
I wish I
Yeah.
knew.
What you do?
No, that's off his like newer album, isn't it?
That's gotta
it's his
be his
most popular song, though.
Yeah.
You can't scroll
I
through
gotta-
TikTok 5 times and not hear
Hold
it.
on.
Yeah.
Okay, I deleted TikTok, so I don't know.
Okay, but Instagram Reels, it's the same shit.
I don't watch
Fucking
those for the
Fuck,
most
what's that
part.
song called?
I'm looking it up.
What's his name?
Steve Lacy.
Bad Habit.
Bad Habit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's off his new album, Dark Red.
Oh yeah.
Something bad gonna happen, or whatever the fuck.
Young Jamie pulled it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's close to it. Yeah.
That's such a banger too. Yeah.
Yeah, I found that song.
The something bad is about to happen shit. 'Cause I actually found that on TikTok because someone made a video where like they were like, yeah, summer boys up, and then the next clip was them in the shower singing that, and I was like, yo, that song fucks. And then I found it.
I like that song a lot, but then I'll have like an anxiety attack and listen to that song, and I'm like, I don't want something bad to happen.
Yeah, I feel that.
Dude, you know what's trippy is like fucking. This is why music goes so deep. You can be sad and listen to an album for a while, and then you're like chilling 2 years later, and you go back and listen to that album,
Sad.
and then it makes you mad sad.
It is a time
sad.
capsule.
Yeah.
You're like,
There is nothing that gives me the nostalgic feeling more than music does.
Oh, yeah.
There's
Yeah.
one particular song that I feel so attached to, and it was in Need for Speed fucking Pro Street, and it's Pogo by Digitalism.
Never heard it.
Yeah.
I know.
Or probably have.
I probably
Listen
heard of
To
it.
it in the car on the way here. I know because it played. So
I'm so busy on Instagram Reels, bro.
it's beyond fucking good.
Investing good time. You see.
Yeah, but
It
like
wasn't-
I turn that song on and I'm immediately like 8
Horny.
years old, sitting in my bedroom, looking at the fucking the wind coming in the window.
Yeah.
My fucking controller's corded, hooked up to the boof ass TV I had when I was a
Dude,
kid.
I have so many experiences like that. Fucking Pursuit of Happiness by Kid Cudi.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking, I was in like 6th grade, and me and my buddy were riding bikes home
Wow.
from this chick's house where we were trying to smash. They were sisters. And
Nice.
fuck yeah, shout out Lana. And I'm just kidding. It was like fucking midnight, and we were just riding our bikes, and we had a speaker in our backpack playing that song. Same thing with like the entire Goodbye and Good Riddance album, or fucking
Juice WRLD?
Yeah, fucking yeah. And like every song on there, I remember exactly where I was the first time I heard that song.
Dude,
Yeah.
It's fucking
anytime I listen to Juice WRLD, it reminds me of one particular person.
Eric?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like it's very weird because then there's definitely songs that I listen to during certain eras where it's like the song is great, but like don't
Yeah, I
play
can't
that
listen
shit.
to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Don't
Oh,
go back.
fucking
Yeah.
Entropy.
Yeah, I listen to it again now, but yeah.
Dude, that dude actually has some other good songs.
He does have some good shit. He's got some weird shit.
Very weird shit.
Yeah, I
But-
don't even remember. Super Bui, some shit.
Yeah, he's got all kind
BWE, like however you pronounce that.
like New Goddess or some
French,
shit.
bro.
Yeah, he's got
I
a
think
lot
it
of
is
shit.
French,
super
genuinely.
bleh.
Like, because I know some of it's in a different language, if I remember right.
Yeah, but there's definitely albums like that. Like Post Malone's first album, bro. Nah, I can't.
I know
listen to it.
why.
No, you don't.
I do. I won't say it, but I do know why.
Anyway, so there was a couple like I don't know. It doesn't happen as much anymore. It's definitely like older shit.
Give it time.
Like they sent that one album by Jay Grams where all that shit was happening in my life.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I can never listen to this again. I can listen to it. It's chilling.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely, it depends on the impact. Like, it depends on how much you enjoyed the song and how much you listened to it compared to what was going on at the time and how it weighs out.
Also, I feel like if there's someone you dislike likes something a lot, it's easier to be like, I hate that song.
Yeah.
Or it's like,
Yeah.
you ruined.
That chick loved Travis Scott. And I was like, no, he's not good. And then all that shit happened, and I was like, well, I definitely can't listen to him now.
Absolutely not.
Music is a very emotionally stimulating thing.
Yeah,
Like,
this
what's more
guy fucking
emotionally
hates
stimulating?
music, swear to God. Hates fucking good
Me?
music. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm picky.
We were just talking about that yesterday.
Kid Cudi, bro.
Right.
I got
Don't
shit
like-
on for enjoying Kid Cudi's music.
I don't like Kid Cudi. I think he's overrated.
I think he's got an album.
The documentary was pretty sick. don't know
I
if you
didn't
watched
watch
We
that.
talked about it on the last pod,
Yeah,
too.
we did.
I didn't watch it.
Yeah, didn't watch
I don't know.
it.
Everyone's just like, dude, he hums. And I'm like, that's
Dude.
cool.
So
I think
Jasmine.
he's a very emotional guy, bro. Let him do his thing.
I mean, respect.
But
I
like
don't know.
that one album, fucking just really good. And Day and Night is
Yeah.
arguably a great song.
Yeah.
I mean, Day and Night is a great song.
I
but
just don't like when people like empower him for like wearing a dress. Like,
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that
they're like-
shit's dumb as
Yeah.
fuck. But like,
Yeah.
like he's being himself.
It's weird. It's weird because like, if that's what you want to do, I don't give a fuck. But like, there's just so many other things to like praise people for
Right.
that like don't get any recognition. They're like, you wore a fucking blouse,
So brave.
whatever that is.
So
Holy
brave.
shit!
It's
Yeah.
really just attention seeking. It's not like Like, cause someone who's really trying to do that, like they're not getting cred for doing that at the supermarket or something. It's like, or maybe they are,
You're
but
so brave.
Yeah.
some famous
Eat my
dude
shorts.
he got more famous. Like, what the fucking cares?
Yeah, no, like the Lil Uzis that are out there doing crazy ass shit, implanting diamonds in his forehead.
Yeah, I don't know, like the
like a
fucking,
real man.
Yeah,
what
rich,
the
like
fuck?
I just feel like most things that rich people do or famous people do is just very disingenuous.
Yeah.
Like you literally just say whatever, and then people are like, "That's who they are and what they think," and it's like,
fame,
It's
all this
calculated.
stuff
Yeah.
becomes an addiction, and the more you get of it, the more addicted you get to trying to keep feeling those.
yeah, like Kanye like gets out of the limelight, and he's like, "What fucking crazy shit can I do to where people talk about me, whether they hate me, like me, whatever? I just
don't
need
think
to be
he
in
thinks
there."
like that though. I think he's genuinely just.
I don't know. I mean, he's definitely
I think he's
crazy,
got
but
some
I think he
misfires.
does.
There's
I think he does both.
people that do that shit.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of
Well,
what
there's like I was gonna
MMA
bring it up
shit is
earlier,
built
but
around.
like, yeah, fucking Mike Tyson. Like, you ask a normal person that doesn't give a fuck about shit,
Yeah.
they're like, "Oh, the guy who bit the ear."
Yeah.
I don't know. He's moved past that now. Like, you can't even ignore him for anything. You know what I'm saying? He's like amazing.
yeah, but like people, like when we were like,
I watched that on TV as a kid. I remember being like, what the fuck?
Yeah, but like people that were around during that time, maybe I don't even know how Tyson was doing at that time, but if Tyson had been losing or some shit, he is now the ear biting guy, and he's a
Yeah.
fucking big stock.
But it also makes sense where it's like, dude, he's a savage beast, man. Like, when you're
That's
that
primal shit.
he wasn't thinking I'm gonna do this. He's just like, I'm gonna fucking kill this. I'm trying to kill this person.
It's the energy. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
arguably the John Jones and Francis Ngannou's of the world are probably overall more dangerous. Like if you on paper just write their skills down.
Yeah.
But the energy that Mike brought is far
Dude, I watched a video of him coming out to a
Yeah.
DMX song.
far scarier. Like to the point where I would rather stand in front of Francis than a fucking prime Mike Tyson staring you down.
And he was just beating the fucking piss out of dudes. And they're like, he could beat Tyson. And it was just like, he was beating him like a 4-year-old boy.
Have you seen the video of the first fight back when he gets out of prison?
Yes.
And he's just fucking. I have TikTok saved. Yo, Jamie's pulling it up. Hold on.
Yeah, fucking. There's like
Google
videos of him.
J-Mo.
There's videos of him arguing
Dude,
with people in
that's
the
what I
crowd.
forgot to
It's crazy.
say. Top 3 comedian: Chris DiStefano, Mark Normand is for sure.
he's very good.
He might be number 1. I fucking love Mark Normand.
Yeah, he's good.
Very original. Like just his,
J-Mo.
The best, dude. Oh my god.
and he's great on podcasts. So he's like the double threat of
His
like
comedy's
awesome
so
stand up.
good. Have you heard his YouTube special, Out to Lunch?
Yeah.
Fucking amazing, dude.
And his story is really funny too. Like,
that actually might be my favorite special. It's between Size 38 Waist and Out
Have
to
you
Lunch.
listened to the Shane Gillis special?
I
forget
haven't.
what it's called.
No,
You need to
I
watch
listened to
that.
a lot of his
the
podcasts.
opposite of butt. It's great.
I've been watching a lot of the clips of his, so I need to watch that whole special because I've been like,
Yeah,
the past.
I've watched it so many times. It's fucking hilarious.
Check this real quick. I'll try and get it on fucking camera. But
Oh
This is the
god,
very video that I watched like 2 days ago.
and he just
MGM Grand. Oh my god, what the fuck?
It's like the fucking ferocity that he brings this.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm about to do it.
When he
And
talks
did
about
it.
like the closer you get to the ring or cage, you just feel more and more powerful. And so when you get in there, you just feel like a god, like untouchable.
Yeah.
I
It's
love
facts.
that video.
I listen to that video every time when I'm getting my hands wrapped. I have it saved. And
No one can touch me. I'm a god.
Yeah,
Dude, getting your hands wrapped is like you're sitting there like, damn, I kind of got a shit, but I don't know for
Yeah.
sure. You know what I'm saying? Like it's fucking weird in
a
your
weird
gut.
experience,
Yeah,
bro.
it's also I meant to talk about it earlier when we actually talked about it, but like it's so awkward when you're standing there getting announced because you're like half naked and the cage side people are just like
yeah.
staring at your nips and like you're just fucking up there waiting to fight and
Quit
everyone's
looking
like,
at my boobs.
yeah, everyone's just fucking staring at you and you're like, this is such a weird thing.
Gotta be.
Yeah.
I don't have an equivalent to that.
It's
like,
the strangest.
I hate coming out first. I like going second because then you're in there for less time. You come out first and you're just fucking pacing back and forth while this
Yeah.
guy walks.
now it makes sense why they look so awkward. Nobody ever looks. I mean, real vets are like, yeah, whatever. But like,
Even them, they're like, it's awkward.
it's still strange. It's
Yeah.
just you and you're pacing, and then I think a lot when guys run the circle like so many times, like how many times you do it like 10.
Yeah,
laps.
It's because I think it's like when
Nervous
your
energy.
fight or flight kicks in, typically it's because something is actively happening right now. Like if you fucking charge at me right now, the fight or flight's gonna kick in because it's happening. Or it's like when you're in the cage, it's kicked in, but nothing's happening yet. Like you're just standing there.
So your heart's just like, just waiting.
And then you're just like, well, I got to do this now. Let's go do it, I guess.
Yeah, it's just so fucking awkward.
Yeah, like I'm sure I'll be able to compare a little bit of the feeling once I do a live show.
Well, yeah, it's the same thing.
It's the same type of thing, but it's less
dying.
like I could fucking die right now.
Yeah, falling off a stage or something.
Less consequences, but it's the same like performing.
Yeah,
like,
it's still performing in front of
stage.
You can't really
people.
You can't really fuck up, and that's the most important thing. Is like I love that pressure for anything, and like performance wise, and like that's why I like intense videos or something. Like performance is like you can't really fuck up. Obviously, fighting is the consequences, like severe injury, but still the shame and fucking you letting people down who came to see you. Like there's still like oh shit, I just Dave Grohl fell off stage and broke his fucking leg.
He kept performing.
He kept there like
He's a fucking musician.
He's like, all right, let's get him up there. He's like, it plays. That's just fucking
I
wild.
legitimately think he's the GOAT.
I do too.
Did you see the video?
I love him. Yeah.
Of Taylor Hawkins' son playing the fucking drums.
Very cool.
I cry my eyes out to that video.
And he did so good
every
dude.
I don't
time.
know who any of these people are.
Remind me to show you
Foo
this.
Fighters.
Yeah,
He died
Taylor
this
Hawkins died earlier this
Foo
year.
Fighters, gotcha.
And his son, Shane, who's 16, came out and fucking
Played Everlong.
had the...
Yep.
no,
That song is so hard. Oh yeah, okay.
And fucking
yeah.
played the shit out of this song. I have to show you that. Dude, I might cry though.
And
I cry my eyes out to this video.
The other
every
thing is
time I
like,
watch it.
not only did you just lose your dad, but then you're gonna play that song note for note in his shoes on stage with the biggest rock band ever and nail it note for note. And it's
At
talking
his
about your
father's
hero.
fucking tribute concert after his death.
The level of like the ability to perform that is like
Could be potentially their last concert ever.
Right.
Like, and
no pressure, bro.
yeah.
That's
You basically have to detach and be like,
Jam-packed.
I'm just a vessel.
Yeah.
Packed. It was on pay-per-view. He came out, hit the shit out of the drums, and then just fucking walked off. Like, it was so sick.
He's like, glad you enjoyed that. I'm gonna go cry a bunch.
Yeah.
the level of
Real
like
talk.
how deep Dave Grohl goes too, because he was in Nirvana and he was.
He
in,
wrote that song about Kurt Cobain. Us theoretic, like
yeah,
conspiratorially.
and Queens of the Stone Age too, which gets slept on pretty
Yeah.
often.
Them crooked vultures, and then fucking
Give it a gooch.
I know there's like 5 or 6 at least that he was in.
yeah. I mean, incredible guitar player, incredible vocalist, incredible drummer.
Dave
I mean,
Grohl,
holy
great
shit.
Drummer.
Oh, he's fucking great. He's the GOAT.
Wicked.
I don't
wasn't
know
it,
shit
wasn't
about
the
music,
very
but he's the
first Foo
GOAT.
Fighters album was just Dave
Just
Grohl?
him. He
Yeah.
he did all of it.
He did every instrument.
And then he started doing the acoustic fucking performances on like the Howard Stern
Howard
show.
Stern, yeah.
Yeah.
it's
I know the
crazy.
Foo Fighters history.
That's cool. Man, Dave Grohl's like my idol.
Yeah, I kind of like the Foo Fighters and the Red Hot Chili Peppers when I was growing up. I always got them mixed up for some reason. They're not like super similar, but when I was a kid, it was like I put them on the same pedestal.
Yeah.
you know. And the fucking drummer that looks like Will Ferrell from fucking
Chad Smith.
yeah.
Chad Smith. He was talking about when his son was learning the drums and he was playing War Pigs.
They're like twins. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, and he was like just being able to be the guy that plays the instrument and then knowing that your son is learning the same capabilities as you has got to be crazy.
Yeah.
Like
Having a kid in general has to be fucking nuts.
You punch your kid in the face right away. Like,
you came out of my fucking balls.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And
I
then
can't-
you
I
watch it
literally cannot
progress,
imagine.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, just
It
having
talks.
a dog, I'm like tripping out.
Talks.
it talks at you.
yeah, it shits. Like, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
It
feed you
is
too.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You
Starts to
good
fucking
with
shake
sandwiches for
things.
dinner or what?
Yeah. Fucking Tom Segura had a bit. He was like, stop acting like having kids is so selfless. It's just a smaller version of you, you fuck.
Yeah.
He looks just like me. Oh, it said like it. Yeah. So, you know, but I couldn't imagine. We talked about it at the gym one day, like if someone had a kid, and I was
Baby
like, yeah,
penis.
I just fucking, I don't know if I could be a fighter with a kid right now. I'd just be like, yeah, I'm
I feel like right now is not a good time to have a kid.
I would just leave that kid, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I just fucking abort it.
Numero. Looking out for
Clip it.
numero
Clip
uno.
Yeah, I live in Washington, so abortions are safe over there, you know what I'm saying? They're not going anywhere.
Yeah, no, we're close to Illinois.
They have
We're close to the
programs,
border.
or at least they were talking about
Yeah, you guys
programs.
still got mask protesters in fucking Seattle.
Yeah, they might. I don't know if they were talking about bringing the programs in or if they already have it. I don't know. I'm not like well versed in the abortion zones, but they were gonna like have people come from places where they couldn't get one. They'd fly them in, give them an abortion, and have them go back.
Round trip.
Yeah, I was like, that's sick, dude.
Delta. They're like, yo.
Yeah.
Oh, you're first class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a very important question that I don't know the answer to. How old are you?
Me?
Yeah.
33.
34.
Really?
Yep.
That's really wild because I went this whole time thinking you were in your 20s, like late 20s.
Dude,
and
no
I'm just like,
homo.
holy shit.
You're a handsome man, especially for that age.
I'll be
Sexy
35.
bitch.
Handsome's underdoing it. He's a fucking gorgeous.
I'll be
man.
35 in a few months.
What's the secret? Give us your fountain of youth.
Honestly,
secret.
Staying up till 2, drinking energy drinks. Having
no, but like I attribute it to just not giving a fuck and like not stressing about stuff. Like I'll stress out here and there, but it's very chosen or
Stress is
pockets
the age.
or whatever.
stress management. Yeah.
Just not being so stressed about stuff. Like most people are so, the money and like I think money ages you for sure. Like the pursuit of it,
Yep.
that makes people look like
It's so wild 'cause
All
we
billionaires
made
are like
money.
40, looking like they're 80.
Yeah, because I think that just wears on you, and you age prematurely because you're not living to your potential and like following your dream. There's something about that. I think you wear it, you look different, you act different. I would say it's just like, man, give a fuck about the right things and none about the other. And
Yeah, it makes sense because every time I see you, you're just like, yeah, I'm just living life. Literally just a dude being a dude. You know what I'm saying? You're never like, oh,
It's
fuck.
very
like,
crazy to me that you are 34 years old and we are 21, and 18, and we have like this same shit going on.
synergy, camaraderie.
Yeah.
But it's, I think it's a timeless mindset. And
It's
like the
definitely
heart thing's
how it
like,
is.
dude, this conversation was happening back in like Roman times where they're like, dude, you can't commit to the legionnaires. Like we got,
Yeah, that's what.
or gladiators where they're like, tomorrow I will kill. And like,
Yeah,
they were
like,
fucking,
okay.
those
That's why
were
I
the
don't
purity.
I don't like the fucking like I'm too old mindset, because something Gary Vee talks about, he's like, if the 10,000 hour rule is true, that's like roughly 10 years of like getting like what it takes to get really good at something. It's like you could start something brand new when you're 70. And
Literally.
if you live to your 80, you could become a master at that one thing.
Yeah.
In the past, like I would say 2 years, but in the past, I've done more in the past 2 years, like monetarily, because I never took it seriously. And I was like, fuck that, I don't care. But then like you got plenty of time, dude. You got a decade before you're fucking 30. And 30, I'm like, dude, 30s have been really cool because you just become a different person. Hopefully, some people don't. They stay perpetually whatever.
They're
But
still in high school at 35.
you can start a multi-million-dollar
Playing off that
company
one
at
500
age
pass
32
Right. Yeah.
and grow it in 3 years. Like whatever you want to do, dude. It's just
yeah. People are like, tell me, they're like, I think I'm finally starting to figure shit out. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I'm
thought-
just like
yeah.
existing. Like, I mean, like I try to figure out who I am and like what I want. But past that, they're like, I'm figuring this whole life thing out. I'm like,
let me know how that goes.
That's why
Yeah.
just doing shit is so important. Because
Yeah.
like if you're 30 and you think you're too old to start a business and you ponder on that for 3 years, well, that's 3 years of business growth that you just wasted.
exactly.
Dude, I'm so glad that I signed up for jiu-jitsu. Like
Yeah.
I went with
Motherfucker, bro.
the one day and I was like, oh shit, I got my ass beat a bunch. And then I went back another day and they were like, you want to sign up? And I was like, sure. And then I saw that it was a contract. I was like, all right, I'm going to lose some weight. Like, let's do this. And then I actually figured out what the
Just
fuck it
jumping
was.
in.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, my parents are 41 and 40, I think, or 41 and 42. And they both, in last January, pretty much a year ago, both quit their jobs and decided to just go balls
Just make
in.
the greatest Sando restaurant of all
Just
time.
go balls in on the
Of all
sandwich
time.
shop. It's crazy. My mom has had the same job for like 25 years working for her mom, and she just quit it like off of a fucking whim, like off of a dream.
Especially
of
when you have like kids that depend on you that take
Yeah.
big nuts to be like, hey,
Monster nuts.
yeah. Well, then like a lot of people use that as excuse, like, oh, I have a kid, so I can't. And it's like, look, if I saw my parents, like, if I grew up seeing my parents unhappy, that doesn't teach me anything. If anything, that just conditions you to be like, oh, well, you got to be unhappy to do
Right.
these things. Like, if my parents were like, hey, like, fucking, I'm going to do this thing, it might not work out. Like, I'd rather see my parents, like, try things. And, like, obviously that this sandwich shop has gone well, but, like, even if fucking they did fail or whatever, like, you see, like, oh.
at least they tried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's, like, it's not too late. They're fucking 40 and 41.
Yeah, like my dad, he did Taekwondo when he was younger than me now. And he's back in it going for his black belt. He started up again like 2 years ago, year and a half
He
ago.
left, like, right before us to go to the gym and go train.
Yeah, and he does judo with me on Saturdays, and he's going for his black belt in fucking Aikido, Kaikido, and Taekwondo.
Wow.
Savage, dude.
And
Hop
it's-
keto, I think.
And Hapkido, yeah. It's just like a big fucking all the
ketos.
things.
all the ketos.
At,
all the
Eats
ketos
keto.
except the diet one.
The,
Bro eats no carbs and goes for all his black
Yeah,
belts.
for
yeah,
real.
the Delavan Flying Dragons. But it's like
That's right next to the old Veneration, right? Or are they still there?
still Veneration.
Okay, yeah.
Still
Awesome.
shit.
Yeah.
I see them on Instagram.
Yeah, whatever.
I think Jeremy has now got like it's corporating. Like he's got a bunch.
He
of
bought a bunch of
locations,
them,
and
and
he
he's
doesn't.
like-
he doesn't
I see him
train.
traveling on shit all the time. Like
I think he bought a bunch of them, and now he just like goes
Yeah,
to different places.
that
but-
makes sense because I'm like, dude, he's in Florida. With like, I don't know.
Like I
follow
rolled
dude.
with somebody from there, and it was like, oh, okay.
I was
We
impressed by the
exchanged
guys we
information.
rolled with or was that yesterday?
Yeah, I know some of them were like,
Motherfuckers there at Evolution.
yeah, some of them were kind of upset because they like, I don't know, like I'm a small guy, so like if like I feel like people don't expect much from me, but it's like, bro, I've been doing this almost 4 years, and like it's kind of like my job, in which I don't get paid
Right.
for yet, but like it's my job, my career path. So like some of them get a little upset, and I'm just like, bro, you've been doing this like a year and a half, like don't beat yourself up. Like
Right.
a year and a half, me into jits fucking sucked ass.
Big
and then,
nuts.
And then
Me too.
fucking 2 years from now, I'll be like, yeah, fucking right. When I got my blue belt, I was ass. Cause like obviously it's what, you know
So
what I'm
same
saying?
thing. Always looking back and thinking you were terrible just
Yeah.
shows you how much you've progressed.
Exactly. So, but yeah, it was good. Like Nick can make some quality
Yeah.
guys. Like, yeah,
He
it's like
needed a new
wave.
wave of younger athletic. Like we were there when it wasn't meant for us to be there.
Yeah.
Almost like
We were there with the old dudes.
yeah, right. And there's nothing wrong with that, but for what we were trying to do, it just wasn't the right spot for us.
Yeah.
But now that he's got the younger, more athletic dudes in there that are like hungry, he's spanking some.
Yeah, he's got
some
like
good dudes.
He's got a lot of knowledge because he'll just hit me with shit where I'm just like, what the fuck even just happened?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and then he's just basically like, no, I'm working on that. I don't know. I might teach it one day. I don't know.
he's literally just like chilling on his back, and he's like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, cool, my shoulder's out of socket. Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, but it was good to go back there. Go tomorrow. Are you coming tomorrow?
I will if you're going.
Yeah, we're gonna go tomorrow.
Sick, I'll go.
Yeah. So
Get fucking scraped to death.
yeah,
Dude, I'm
cheese
wearing
grater
socks,
mats,
bro.
Yeah, I thought
Where's
yeah.
the ALB?
Yeah, no,
Where's
I
the
don't care, bro.
Yeah, I remember I was like, yo, word, you
Dude,
should
I
try.
got them everywhere, bro. My forearms, my elbows.
He's just showing off the veins. He's like, fucking up, shit. Yeah, but
See that fucking mat burn right now?
yeah, I told Word, I was like, do jits, and he was like, I would not like it. And then he went the first time. He's like, that shit was fucking sick.
Yeah.
So
It's good to know. You know what I'm saying? It's like good information to have. And even if I stopped now, I feel like I have a good base knowledge.
Certainly more than people that never did.
Yeah. So it's like somebody's like, dude, let's play tap out. I'm like, let's play tap out. You know?
yeah, it's good for the brain. You know what I'm saying? It's the only time where I'm like when I'm rolling, I'm just like,
Not thinking.
It's one of those
there's no
weird
like,
things.
there's no like, oh fuck, I got things to do tomorrow or anything.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah,
like
it's a non-writing activity that helps me write.
just in the flow zone.
Flow state.
That's what running is for me too. Is like a lot of people actually disagree with this. Like Mark Zuckerberg talks about it on the Rogan podcast, where he was like, I started training MMA because I used to run a lot, and when I would run, my mind would still go. But I found for me, maybe because I run like long distances, when I run, it's all like, I don't mean it like that, but I'm just saying like my only goal when I'm running, the only thing I'm thinking about is finishing this fucking run.
Yeah, no, I think about all kinds of shit, and I'm like, my fucking legs hurt.
That guy also like being this fucking whatever of Facebook. He's probably like CIA, fucking Russia. Like that's got to be so
Yeah.
intense. Where he's
Bomb
like
That dude's
threats
a
as he's
fucking
running.
robot.
Yeah.
billions of dollars. Oh my god! Like,
Yeah.
you ever seen the video of him where he's
Mechanical heart is combusting. and
yeah,
it's fucking-
like I can't stay an alien much longer. Must try. Yeah, you ever seen the video where he's in the backyard grilling,
No.
Yeah, he's
like
looking mad goofy.
smoking meats? He's like, we're out back here smoking meats. It's like it's so
He's
weird.
so random.
Such a
And then he was like, yeah, dude, fuck running. I'm gonna go train MMA really, really shitty.
Isn't
like,
he yoked now? He's like fucking.
he probably
He's
hopped on
gained a lot of muscle.
Turd.
Yeah.
He rented out
Turd.
one of the
Yeah.
fucking UFC fight
Yeah.
cards. Like the
I think it was
the
like
fight nights.
metaverse.
Can you imagine he's on a
Yeah.
card in like 3 years? It's like Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg are
Yeah.
fighting for the fucking
It's
intro.
so,
Called
dude,
about.
it's so
Interim
annoying. though.
BMF belt.
Like Luke Thomas, Luke Thomas
The
made it
SMF belt, bro.
Yeah.
The smartest motherfucker.
yeah.
richest.
Yeah.
Luke Thomas made a good point though. Let's put like when it came to The Rock, and then he pointed this out. Mark Zuckerberg's probably gonna do the same thing. Any celebrity or like rich, famous, influential person that comes in, and they're like worshiping the fighters. Like, I love the fighters. The fighters are great. almost 100% of the time they're gonna fuck them. Like The Rock was like, I love the fighters, they're amazing.
Now he's got a
Anyway,
shoe.
you have to wear this shoe, and also you get 0% of the dollars from it.
Yo,
The
these
fuck is
shoes,
that?
these shoes fucking suck.
Yeah, shout out Nate for keeping it real. You know what I'm saying? And it
That's
sucks
funny.
because like I feel like some of the fighters are like, yeah, this is sick, but I'm like, not really. Like you could have your own brand deal for shoes and like get paid for it, but you have to wear the Rock shoes, which are ugly as fuck.
They are ugly. I was disappointed.
Yeah.
I was like,
All
oh
reds.
man.
Dude,
I'm taking that wave of like fucking doing my shit my way. I don't care about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the video? I think it was an MMA on Point video. They posted about how the UFC could get passed into that weird Muhammad Ali bill.
Yeah,
Where-
they've been trying to stop that for a long time.
I don't know what that means.
Basically, like the UFC wouldn't have control over the belts, the commissions would. So then you would see crossover from
Is that
everywhere.
what boxing does?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
why
that's all
boxing has
boxing
like
does.
800 belts, and you don't know what the
so
fuck.
terrible.
You're like,
Yeah.
how are you a champion? You what? Like,
The super catch fly heavyweight is
Yeah.
going up to face the cruiserweight bout. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, there's so much. How do you have 16 belts on right now? Like, what the fuck is going on?
Some
Like you
weird
have
cult
4
shit.
different belts per weight class, and there's a weight class every 3 pounds.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
hope they don't do that. I mean, like, it would be good in terms of like getting some people paid more. But then
Yeah.
you look at boxing and it's like,
Would it
you're paying
though?
$100 for one fight because the rest of them are just people you don't know and don't get paid anything.
Do they make more money, or then they just lower the pay per champion because there's more champs now?
there's got to be a way they're fucking you.
Yeah.
There's
There
no
has
way
to
it's
be a way.
There's
benefiting
no
you.
way it's benefiting the fighter. Yeah.
It's
Did you
fucked
see
up.
they just canceled the Bellator Ryzen crossover card?
Why?
I don't know. I kind of scrolled past it, but I saw the
Politics.
card was canceled.
It's all politics. And the thing about like, it drives me nuts. Like the commissions are like not trying to release the pay anymore. And it's like, why do you fucking think that is? So that way they can't bargain. This
Yeah.
guy made this much, I'm better, or I sell more tickets. Like, they want to keep everything
It's like-
private and
it's an
secret.
employer,
And with
like-
the judging, they don't want to get any scrutiny, so they have a fucked up shitty card. Instead of being like, hey, that's on us. They're
Yeah.
like, nope, not gonna talk about it. If you talk about it, you're never gonna fucking judge another fight again. Like,
It's the same way they bust unions, where it's like, no, you can't bargain.
Yeah.
Amazon does the same thing, where they have subcontractors inside of Amazon to deliver the packages that are their own companies. That way, you complain to the company, not to Amazon. So it's like people who deliver for Amazon don't work for Amazon; they work for a subcontractor who's a DSP.
It's like you
Yeah.
get some dude in a fucking Suburban dropping off
Yeah.
an Amazon
Yeah.
package. It's like, what the
Smoking a blunt, you're like, what
Yeah.
the? F-
I
who's
thought-
that?
Amigos.
I talked about it when we did the podcast with Miguel. It's like the UFC is going to be my platform. That the UFC income is not the income I rely on. Like what the UFC will be for me is a platform to grow my brand.
I see both sides of that, but on the flip side, dude, for how much we go through physically, mentally, like sacrificing, like, dude, it fucking sucks that I have to go back and like not see my family. You know what I'm saying? Like to give up all that and then to be like, we'll give you $12,000 to show up, $12,000 to win. Also, no guarantee you're gonna fight more than once a year because of injuries and all
Sure.
that shit. Like, dude, like we should all be. Getting
How does
paid more.
insurance work? Do fight promotions give you that? Do
It
you have,
depends. So like the UFC will, like they do pretty good, but like on amateur shows, like
yeah, forget it.
There's
Tib
like,
fib break. They're like,
I mean, considering that I don't even have to do blood work to fight. Like, dude, like I went and like got a physical done and all that, but they don't like make you do
it's so
blood work.
different here.
Yeah, I could have AIDS, and they're just like,
Yeah.
well,
Fighting in Washington sounds a little sketchy.
Like for this fight, I
it's
have
the
to-
commission. They don't know shit.
For this fight, I have to apply for my combat sports license in Minnesota. I have to get my eyes dilated, which I got today. I had to do a dilation test. I had to get blood work.
I thought you were on acid.
I have to get a physical. Like it's very fucking
Yikes.
like lined up.
Yeah, I wish they'd do blood work because like motherfuckers
trying
like
to get
bleeding
AIDS
in my
or
mouth and
Just move to
shit.
Wisconsin, fight here. It's not.
I'm saying, just come back. Bro. We can do these all the time
Yeah, you know.
and train at Wonderland.
Yeah, and you could. It's just better here.
Get fucked. I mean,
Yeah. Well, it's hard with a dog now.
fuck, bro.
You could you could do the same shit you do out there, but here with a
Easily
dog.
bring the dog.
I'm buying a compound. Let's go. We'll
Yeah,
all
dude,
live in the
Bro.
same
Feel
fucking
yeah.
fantasy
farm.
factory, whatever that shit's called.
Compound dream chasers.
Yeah, now it's hard. I got a dog. Like motherfuckers don't love dogs.
Bro's acting like it's a fucking child.
Yeah, but like I can't. Yeah.
But like, dude,
Where would I live? Where would I
my
live?
shoes are at.
Where would I
home.
live with my dog? Where would I live with my dog?
You could fucking live in our house again.
Sweetie hates it. No shot, dude.
Come
Give
by
it
me,
time.
bro. You see my basement? That's just huge.
Dude, you're like the angel of death. She's gonna die before the new year.
You're fucked. But yeah. Anyway, Hey, basically,
No,
that's
we're staying on this.
that's
No,
No.
that's why the UFC doesn't come to Washington and Oregon.
Move in with Matt.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, they don't come there because the commissions like are fucking
Underdeveloped.
stupid. And like they told us, they like not this last fight, because this last fight I fought without shin guards, which is A1 awesome. The fight before that, they were like, yeah, everyone's got to wear shin guards, but you can oblique kick, which is where they stand like this with their knee and you kick it inward and shred all the L's in the knee. Like, if I can bow your knee inward, but I can't kick you with a fucking bare shin, like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, clearly a non-fighter is making that rule. It makes no sense.
It's fucking stupid. So and every show is different. Like, that's the problem too. Like, you fucking play football and everywhere has the same rule set versus you go to a different state and they're like, we got different rules here.
Portland's like, yeah, you can straight up bang fentanyl right in the middle of the street naked with a fucking and burn the American flag. Good job.
Yeah.
But you can't. Yeah.
They're like, hey, we're not going to say you can do coke, but we're not going to say you can't either.
We're going to sanction a Crips and Blood snowball fight.
Yeah. So.
Oh my God, I love
they
that.
don't come to us.